to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talent, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, click the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever or wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Hasta in Ghana, Aquaba. In Nigeria, Hello. In South Africa, Salbona. In Senegal, Nangada. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Monday morning, a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things. Well, Larry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindful session and Blog Talk Radio. Mondays, 7:30 till 9 a.m. Be sure to include thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and visit your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness stress coach, ZeldaSpeaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments in the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to the expression of mindfulness on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks. Mix it up mindful days. Thanks for listening.
Grand Rising, and thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. Thank us, Universal Spirit. Thank you so much for making me a part of your day and starting out with a fresh new perspective. Whatever is going on in your life, it happened for a reason, to make you grow. I am a living witness. So welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. I'm your host, ZeldaSpeaks. We are live on air from 7 until 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Happy Earth Day, birthday, born day. If you are celebrating a birthday today, it is Monday, May 17th. And you know what that means. Tax returns are due. And that is exactly what we're not talking about today, but we are talking about the taxing situations and circumstances on your body. We'll be joined by Dr. CJ Mimee this morning. And we'll be talking about just that, on how our environment has a toxic effect on our bodies. So she'll be joining us at the 7:30 hour. But in the meantime, in between time, you can participate in the show. And this show is dedicated to the loving memory of my little big sister who made her transition, Hattie Frierson Johnson. And I am so glad that today is Monday because I am all cried out. Yesterday, I'm putting together the details of the funeral. I'm doing a video presentation. And so I'm looking for music for the presentation, right? And oh my God, I found a couple of songs that just knocked me off my feet because I was with her listening to these songs. And it just brought tears to my eyes. And I told our executive producer, Naima Latif, I said, please be on standby this morning in case I break down and just can't handle it. And she's like, girl, go ahead on and get your cry on. Cry as much as you need to. And she sent me this information, and I have just got to send it to you because it just made so much sense. So I've got to share it with you. Naima Latif says, crying is the healthiest way to release emotions. So don't try to stop crying. Okay, so if I break down, you pick up, okay? She says, cry until you have released all bottled up emotions. It's like pouring out a bottle of water. The water will flow until the body is empty, until the bottle is empty. And in this case, my mind, spirit, and energy is the bottle. So thank you for that, Naima. She has just such words of wisdom I can always count on to make my day better and make your day better too. Because when she makes my day better, hopefully I'm making your day better. So thank you so very much for that, Naima. And thank you for joining us this morning. I do not usually share with you what is going on in the world because you're going to get that from major market TV and radio. But I have to because we are a resource for the community. And the one resource that I must share with you today is that there is rental assistance available. And you can look that up on NBCChicago.com. All the details are there. If you're about to be evicted, you got a 30-day notice. There is something there available for you. If you're listening online, like to join the conversation this morning, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak. I can see that the lines are already lit up. Thank you so very much. Just bear with me this morning. If you're following us on social media, when you see that sign in the background, YouTube, that's where we are on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show. On Facebook, we are HLN TV Show. And on Instagram, it's ZeldaSpeaks, the number 2 and the letter U. And we're on Pixely, the new social media site from the Women's Media Group, Pixeoly, Pixely.com. So be sure and stop by there and sign up, as well as please read my blog this morning, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. That's ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. And if you are in for a natural healing, and you have pain and inflammation in the joints, like most of us who do live in the America with standard American diet, the SAD diet, standard American diet, you've eaten some processed foods, lots of them, so you probably have some issues too. So go to my site, zelda.now.site, S-I-T-E, zelda.now.site. And if you're concerned about the poison that's in your food, go to zeldarobinson.towergarden.com. And if you want to know how I reverse type 2 diabetes, go to diabeticdonut.com. There's a free ebook there for you. As we take a look at the traffic today, if you're headed out and about today, it's going to be 68 degrees. Yes, finally we're getting into some warm weather because it's been cold here in Chicago. Cloudy and mild, light jacket today. You might even need an umbrella, but that's okay as long as you don't need some boots. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com for business owners or artists or entrepreneurs. If you would like to travel, travel is available now. We have a travel agent with us on the female solution. That would be Travel with Deborah. She's on every third Saturday. You can get updates from her, so be sure and check that out. And you'll also get a $100 sign-up bonus if you use the promo code ZELDA, ZELDA, when you sign up at itex.com. As we take a look at Metro and CTA, there are no delays, but there will be a 3-year delay on the red and purple trains in Uptown and Edgewater. They are closing the Berwyn station. So you will have to use the Bryn Mawr or the Argyle station because this is a 3-year process and it's going to take a long time. And they are updating the 100-year-old stations. Why did it take 100 years? Okay, I'm not going to go there. Anyways, we'll take a look at Kennedy inbound. It's 33 minutes inbound, your usual Monday morning madness, I like to call it. 20 minutes outbound. It remains calm on the tollways, but it is slow at Cumberland Avenue. Inbound on the Edens is 25 Lake Cook to the Junction, 22 on the reverse. On the Eisenhower, that's a whole other story. That is 33 minutes inbound, 26 on the reverse. On the Stevenson, 21 in and 16 on the reverse. On the Dan Ryan, the earliest stall has been cleared inbound at Cermak Road, but it's still causing delays, 32 minutes inbound from 95th Street and 18 minutes on the reverse. On the Bishop Ford, it's 10 minutes in and 11 out, and Lakeshore Drive, Hollywood to Monroe, 9 minutes in both directions. And that's your traffic and weather, sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. As we go to your word of the day, your inspirational conversation with ZeldaSpeaks, aka Shalom Israel. And today is May 17th, and it says here, this is a long one, but I know you'll enjoy it. It says, imagine sitting in a room filled with women who embody the spirit of strength and perseverance. Imagine sitting in a room where the energy is so high, you inhale wisdom, courage, and strength. Now place yourself in a room with Shelley Hughley, a domestic violence survivor who is now the executive director of Southwest Women Working Together, who for over the last 35, 40 years has implemented life-saving programs for women in need. Shelley and her team of professionals, including Pam Davies of Davies Public Relations, brought together a powerful circle of sisters at the Civic Opera House that honored 7 powerful women, including Michelle Obama, who she wasn't the first president then, first lady then. Mary Morton, Eve Ensler, Sonny Fishler, Camille O'Day, Carmen Prieto, and Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. We were all delighted in a concert of sunshine sprinkled with the wisdom of songstress India Ari, who reminded us that we all have that we need. We all have it right now inside of us. Aretha Franklin's performance made us all so damn happy just to be alive. Iyanla Vanzant's presentation left me with 2 phrases to ponder. The words were, even though, and so that. Even though we may be in a situation where we didn't make good choices about whatever it was, we had to go through that experience so that we could make better choices next time. Even though we don't feel like we can do any better, we need to be thankful for the experience so that we can one day look back at this experience and remind self to live life fully, to have a vision for self, to be authentic, and to learn how to give a strong no instead of a weak yes. Statistics show that every 7 seconds, a woman experiences domestic violence, which is not always physical. Oftentimes, it's mental. So don't ever think you are alone. Don't ever think that you are never, ever alone. After all, you do embody the spirit of a woman. And don't ever let anyone take that from you. Remember the words of Iyanla Van Zandt. Even though, and so that, and so it is. Inspirational Conversations with Shalom Israel, aka Zelda Speaks. And you heard that here on Monday Morning Mindfulness. And you know what that means? It is time to practice mindfulness because we're already mindful. So let us become still. What we will do is our Monday morning mindfulness breathing meditation. And why are you doing that, Zelda? Why do you take time to do that in the morning? Because you deserve it. That's why I do it. Because most of us take too much time for everyone else and not ourselves. So that's why I do it. Coming up in about 10 minutes here. It is 7:17. In about 10, 13 minutes, we will have our guest on for today, Dr. CJ Mimee. Toxic environment. How to handle the taxing situations on your body. And this is the way to do it. It all begins in the mind. I know I've been crying all weekend. I got my nerve telling you what to do, right? Well, thank you, Naima. I had to get it out. So this is a way to get it out. This is a way to release. So what we'll do is sit up straight in our chairs, feet flat on the floor, nothing in your hands, nothing in your back, nothing on your mind, but that of your breath. So what we're going to do is inhale to the count of 5 to yourself, breathing in through the nose and holding it for a hot second and then exhale. Are you ready? All righty, let us begin. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Oh my God, that feels so good. See, when you inhale through the nose, makes all the difference in the world. You feel it immediately. So that's the only thing I want you to focus on this morning is your breath. And if your mind tends to wander, that's okay. That's what the mind does. You simply bring it back to the attention with your breath because you'll be focusing on your chest. As you inhale, your chest will inflate. And as you exhale, it will deflate. So that's what I want you to concentrate on when your mind begins to wander. So let us continue. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Yes, that feels so good. The power of the breath. How blessed you are because somebody somewhere didn't make it today or can't breathe on their own. Help me, Lord. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Yes, the body is calming down already as we speak. Once more. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. And this time, as your eyes are closed, you should not be looking at me, but the inside of your eyelids as you inhale deeply. Bring all that energy up to the top of the head. Hold it. And as you exhale, feel that energy move down through the face, the forehead, the chin, and the neck. As we inhale. And as you exhale, take your hands and massage the back of your shoulders. And just feel good with that. Inhale deeply. Massage those shoulders. And you can sometimes use your fingertips to just knead the shoulder area, the back of the neck where you hold all the tension. I know women have a tendency to hold all of our stress, all of our tension right there. And I feel it every time I touch it. So inhale deeply. And exhale. Once more. And this time after you inhale, not pinch, but squeeze the back of your neck where the vagus nerve is. Inhale deep. Massage the back of the neck as you are sending love and light and energy, good energy, through the power of your breath as you continue to breathe out, as you continue to breathe in, and as you continue to breathe out, squeezing the back of the neck, that vagus nerve, sending love, light, and energy down through your spine, throughout the rest of the body. As you inhale deeply, hold it, and exhale. Yes, that feels so good. As you inhale deeply, sending more love and light and energy down through the throat, through the chest and the arms. Feel free to wiggle those arms and take a long stretch. Stretch that body. Don't be looking at me. Close your eyes and stretch as you inhale deeply. And sending more love and light and energy down through the solar plexus, your chest, your sides, your back, and your buttocks as you inhale deeply. Giving thanks for the power of the breath, sending more love and light and energy down through the hips and the thighs and the knees. Oh, yes, those glorious knees, baby. Rub those knees, rub those thighs if you need to. Sending them love and light and energy through the power of the breath. As we inhale deeply, sending more love and light and energy down through the legs and the feet and the heel and the arch, the instep and the toes. Feel free to wiggle those toes as you inhale deeply. Bringing that energy back up from the feet to the legs, to the knees as you continue to breathe in. And breathe out, bringing that energy back up through the thighs and the hips and the buttocks and the back and the shoulders as we breathe in. And as we breathe out. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. The longer your inhale and your exhale, the better your body performs. So let us inhale deeply. Bringing that energy back up through the chest and the shoulders and the back of the head and the front of the head, back up to the top of the head. As we take a nice, good stretch, inhale deeply and exhale. One more long, deep inhale deeply. And this time as you exhale, bring your head down, forward, chin to chest, and slowly rotate that head to the left. Slowly, slowly. Oh yes, feeling the stretch in the neck in little small increments. Bringing that stretch around to the right, rolling that neck on around to the front, and holding the head up. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And as you exhale, bringing the head back down, chin to chest, and slowly rotating the head to the right. Slowly. Slowly. You might feel a little pop in the neck. That's okay. That's just air between the muscles and the tension, the fibers and ligaments in your body. Oh, yes. Feel that stretch in the neck as you bring it around. Chin to chest. Head up. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, turn your head to the left as far as you possibly can, feeling the stretch in the right side of the neck and bringing the head back forward. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, turn your head to the right as far as you possibly can, feeling the stretch in the left of the neck. And bringing the head back front and center. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And just continue to breathe in and breathe out, giving thanks for the power of the breath. Because someone somewhere didn't make it today, and you are one of the ones who did. Aren't you special? So special that you can continue to breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. Once more, breathe in. Hold it. And breathe out. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out on your own through your nose, giving thanks for the power of the breath, knowing that you are always at the right place at the right time, knowing, trusting, believing. As you breathe in, trusting that all the decisions that you make today will come from a place of love and not hate and not fear. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, knowing that the decisions that you make are the right decisions for this moment in this time, because the decisions can change in an instant. And give thanks for the power of the decisions that you make, knowing that you are doing the best you can with the best that you have. And that which you don't have, that you might think you need, you give thanks that you are connected to the one source, the divine energy that is always ever present and knows what is best for you in each and every situation. As we continue to breathe in, we give thanks for this power of this breath today, knowing that each breath that we breathe in, we have been given a chance to make it right, to do what needs to be done on our behalf, because the breath that we breathe in is not our own. What? Inhale deeply. We are breathing the life force of those who came before us to make our way strong, because as they try to get rid of us, we simply breathe in and breathe out. And we give thanks for the power of the breath that takes us to a place of peace and compassion and overstanding, knowing that the ancestors that are always with us, guiding us, directing us, even when we are unsure of ourselves. We give thanks for those who have gone before us and made our way possible. We give thanks for the power of the breath as we breathe in. Hold it. And as we breathe out, and just sit with that breath and marinate in the love and the light and the sunshine of that breath that is in your body as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Giving thanks for the throat and the air that is allowed through the throat as we breathe in and breathe out. Inhale deeply. As we give thanks for the power of the breath that continues to flow down through our heart, liver, and lungs, we give thanks for all of the organs in our bodies, the tissues, the ligaments, the muscles, the fibers, and the trillions of cells that are continuing to grow in a way that is productive to our health. We give thanks that all these systems, the digestive system, the food that we eat, the assimilation system, as it digests in our bodies, giving us the nutrients and the power and the energy that we need. And last but not least, we give thanks for the elimination system. And I know some of you who are listening to my voice are constipated this morning. All you need is some fiber. Google it. You'll find it. It's there. The information is waiting for you, just like the connection to the ancestors. They're always with us. The question is, are you listening? And as you listen to this, as your last long, deep breath, inhale deeply. And exhale. Marinating in that breath and giving thanks for the power of it. That the fact that you are here today means that you have more work to do. Your assignment on planet Earth is not complete. So the question is, are you willing to do the work to make your day and the days of those around you a better place to be? And that is your Monday morning mindfulness meditation. And I hope you enjoyed it. And please be sure and practice this. It doesn't take 5 minutes. It can take 5 seconds, because when somebody is all up in your space and you don't need them there, you simply breathe in. Take a deep breath. That's the first thing. And they will look at you like you have lost your mind. And it's okay. Because if you got a little funk on your breath, a little stank, you forgot to brush your teeth, or your breath just stinks naturally, blow out through your nose. Don't blow out through your nose. Blow out through your mouth. I promise you that they will back up off you because that foul breath will run them away. So that's just a little bit of what you can experience, and you can experience more when you go to my YouTube channel, which is ZeldaSpeaks. Actually, I have two, ZeldaSpeaks and ZeldaSpeaks Mindfulness. It is 7:30, and you know what that means? Monday morning mindfulness meditation has come to a close, and it's time for our first commercial break. But let me remind you that tomorrow, it is the Tuesday. It is self-care with Jody Susan, who will be telling us some very important information that we need to know. And what I need you to do is, while we're in commercial break, is to text somebody, call somebody, and let them know that Dr. C.J. Mimee is with us, and she will be on with us right after the 7:30 break. And you can enjoy her, and I will bring her on. But first, I need to remind you that Wednesday, it's Naima Latif, Repairing Family Relationships. And Brother Amid, I know I'm getting his name wrong, so I'll just say Naima Latif. Thursday is, if you look at it, Zelda, you'll be able to tell them. Thursday is the Women's Roundtable, and Friday is Health and Wellness with Viana. Saturday's rotating hosts. First Saturday, Nonviolent Communication with Jana, our London correspondent over in the UK. And second Saturday, the Black Taboo with Love, Joy, and Powers. Third Saturday, Travel with Deborah. And the fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. And don't forget about Sunday. Sunday evenings, we are not on in the morning. We are on in the afternoon, 12 noon until 2 p.m. And on Sunday evening, did I say Saturday? 12 until 2. And on Sunday evening, 7 until 9 p.m. Okay, so stay close. Text somebody and let them know Dr. C.J. Mimee's on, and we'll be right back. So stay close.
What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solutions Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and your cells feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today. Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving, doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep the bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network from the Female Solution. What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African-American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identity? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimahLatif.com and get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Helping culture, world peace, and restoration of life transcend culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I'm Director Kim of HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. I'm your host, ZeldaSpeaks, and I am joined today by our lovely guest, and that would be our sign language interpreter, Mary Shelton from Fuquay, North Carolina, author of
Good morning. My book
Silence Isn't Golden,
correct. Yes.
which is the story of
It's the story of my brother being stolen at birth, but also you were talking about you had someone on your show that fixes family relationships. My daughter divorced me over 30 years ago. So that's one of the stories. With other stories, I've been robbed, I've been kidnapped, I've been sexually abused along with my mom. But that's other stories in the book. So read it on Amazon.com. But
wow.
I need to talk with your other professional there.
Okay.
Maybe to fix that with my only daughter and my
Mm.
only grandson.
Okay. Well, we are right on time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are joined by our quarterly contributor, and that would be Dr. C.J. Mimee.
By
Lona
Mimee. How do you pronounce that?
Mimee.
Mimee.
Mm-hmm.
Joined by Dr. Mimee.
Dr. C.J. Mimee. Welcome, Dr. Mimee. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Grand Rising. It's so nice to see you again.
Yes, always wonderful to see your lovely face this morning. I am so excited because I can finally stop crying. I can have some happy people around me. Everybody's been sad over the past week. My sister, Hattie Frierson Johnson, made her transition, and it was, we knew it was coming, but you're just never ready. So I've been crying, boo-hooing my eyes out every day. So I'm just happy to be around somebody that's not crying, who has some good news for us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Well, I'm learning to look at it, Dr. Mimee, as not a loss, but a lesson. And that lesson is how to treat ourselves better. And that's the topic of today. Taxing, since it's taxes are due today, taxing effects on the body and how we can not stop it. You can't ever stop it, but you can detour it. How about that? Is that a good word, Dr. Mimee?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
We can send it in another direction. I know the breath is one direction when you breathe in. And when you breathe out, sometimes your breath might not smell bad. So when you breathe out, they may not back up. So yeah, you can give them another way to do it. one of the things that I've discovered, Dr. CJ, and I will appreciate your comment on that, is that the power of water. We need as much water in our bodies as we can possibly have. And that is one of the issues that my sister had. She hates water. And I used to tell her all the time, girl, put some lemon in the water, put some kiwi in the water, put some orange in it, put something in the water. Just drink some water. So as a result of her living 60 plus years, that was just one of the complications. One of the ailments, I should say, that she had was because that was a taxing effect on her body, that she had very little water. And I say that not to blame her or shame her name, but to awaken us as a culture of people who are addicted to sugar. And sugar coming in the form of drinks, pops, anything other than water. Has that been your experience with your patients, Dr. Mimee?
It's funny you bring up water to start, because while I was having my breakfast this morning, I thought to myself, okay, how do I describe taxing effects on the body and stress? Because stress is such a difficult thing to define. And I think you did such a good job picking out water as an example, because it's something that we take for granted, right? So the body, anything that's taxing on the body can be anything. So if we don't get enough water throughout the day, that's a stress and that's taxing, right? So if whatever the body needs, if we're not providing it with what it needs, that becomes a stress on the body. So I think you're absolutely right. It's if the body needs a certain amount of water, and that's going to change depending on the person, right? Depending on how active you are, how your system is. I mean, there's recommendations on how much water you should drink. But if you're not giving your body what it needs, and that becomes a stress, right? As a general rule.
I'm so glad you said that. Our sister of the microphone, Jody Susan, is with us this morning. She says, good morning, my soul sister. Yes, good morning. And she says, yes, we need to treat ourselves better. Dexter says, can you say happy birthday to my friend Nigger? Yes, Dexter. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. I know I can't sing, but my heart is in it. Happy birthday to yes, friend Nigger. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, born day. Jody also says we have to neutralize the negative and toxic things in our lives. Yeah, because it is just coming at us every day, all day. Dr. Mimee, you know what? I never looked at water as a stressor.
Right. So if we don't get enough of it, and actually, when you bring up water, it reminds me, I had a patient in Boston a very long time ago, and I was working with them for months. And at one point, I didn't used to ask people at the very beginning when I was out of school about water intake. And while I was working with them for months, after working on their back, one day it hit me. I was like, this is gonna be a really crazy question, but can I ask you, how much water do you drink? Because I'm working on their back, and usually, when you manually work on someone's back over a period of time, they loosen up. But this one kept coming in, stiffening up. So I asked them, I said, how much water do you drink? This is a crazy question. But anyway, they ended up saying that not even a drop. So not even a drop of water. So whatever they were getting through their food, and I think they used to drink like 1 coffee a day, which doesn't count for water, right? Anyway, so I asked them, I'm like, can we do an experiment? Can you drink, as much water as you feel you can over the next couple of weeks and see what happens? Would you believe that their back actually started loosening up? When they came in the next time, had you blindfolded me and put a bunch of people in a row and said, find this patient, I would not have been able to find them. I would not have known who was who. That's how that was a dramatic difference on what water can do in terms of like your tissue, joint mobility and tissue extensibility.
Wow. What's that word? Tissue?
Extensibility. So just like your flexibility of how your body moves.
Okay. Tissue sensibility. And what was the other term you used?
Like joint mobility.
Joint mobility. Yes. Yeah. During the morning meditation, I'm always saying, rub those knees. Yeah. Joint mobility. That's another reason why I drink so much water. My body is telling me you need water. Jody Susan says a lot of people don't like water because of the metallic taste. Filtering the water is critical. And Jody, at some point, I hope you'll call in and share with us how that filtering process can work. She says we have to neutralize the negative and toxic things in our lives. Yes, you got that right. We have got to get all the toxic stuff out, because more toxic in, body's going, the vibration, the energy is going down, down. I told you that's why I'm so happy to see you this morning.
I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see, period. You know, 'cause somebody somewhere can't see, need glasses and can't see. Our environment is so toxic. I'm sorry, I forgot to open the lines up this morning. I'm so busy talking. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak if you'd like to join the conversation this morning. Our guest is Dr. CJ Mimee of Valona Health. And the lady you see doing the hand motions, that is our very own Mary Shelton, sign language interpreter from Fuquay, North Carolina. You can also join us on social media, facebook.com, HLN TV show, and our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show. So how can we make our environment less toxic, Dr. CJ?
Oh, that's a question. So in physical therapy, right, in clinic, we talk about all of the factors that go into physical health. Your environment, it's interesting, right? Because right now we spend so much time the last year and a half, but who's counting, right? We've been spending sitting. And I think one of the ways to improve our environments is make sure that we're continuing to move and have different options for how we have to be on our screens, right? So whether it's sitting, standing, if you're able to get, I don't like to ask people to buy things, but if you can and you have something like this at home, they have these little pedals that you can put underneath your desk. It almost looks like a mini bike. And it's literally just the little pedals that you attach onto, has little cords that attach onto the feet of the chair. So you can continue pedaling while you're on your screen while you're sitting. So, that's another way to keep moving, right? So if we're thinking about environment, any kind of a small adjustments that you can make to make sure that the body gets what it needs while you're still doing what you need to be doing. Because we can't change our livelihoods, right? If we have to be on Zoom, then we have to be on Zoom.
Okay. Wow. I never thought of that.
Right?
Yeah, I could be moving here. Just moving.
Yeah.
Like Naeem and I would do the higher learning hip roll. So now you can do it with your feet too. Yeah, that's a smart move. I didn't think about that. Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. Mimee. Appreciate that. Movement is key, and it doesn't matter how you move. It does, but it's important that you do move, because with homeschooling, working from home can be pretty toxic right about now, can it not?
Definitely. Yeah. Some movement is better than no movement, right? So however you enjoy moving, and that's something that I've started. I think language is very important. So that's something I've started talking about with patients, is not so much stress management, because stress is so hard to define, but more trying to find out what is soul giving for a patient. So instead of thinking stress management, because it puts a focus and emphasis on stress, trying to figure out what is soul giving, which is a lot more individual to the person, right? So it's, I don't know, maybe you mentioned water, right? So when you said water, I thought, okay, drinking water, but then I thought, but sitting by the water, or listening to the sound of water, when it's raining, being able to open the window, these kinds of things, right? So that, to me, that's soul giving. So spending time by the water or spending time listening to the sounds of water can be soul giving. But it can also be dancing, it could be singing, it could be, cuddling with your pet, it could be anything.
I am so glad you said that, Dr. Mimee, because a week or two ago, we had the first ever higher learning stress relief spa experience, virtual spa experience. And I will invite you to the next one. And because it reminded me that when you talked about water, just listening to water, the sound of water, because I listen to the ocean waves at night as I sleep.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, as well as the 432 hertz vibrations, and they're all on YouTube. You can go look them up. There's thousands of them, but there's a couple that I listen to, and it just puts you in such a state of mind, a relaxing state of mind where you can fall asleep. And that's one of the things that we shared in the higher learning virtual spa experience. So I definitely want you on that because you said, I love what you said about stress management because we talk about stress management and you talked about soul giving. Can you expound on that a little more?
Yeah, so it's whatever makes somebody feel alive, right? So if,
Mm.
I can give some personal examples, and I guess I can talk about some other examples that I've heard too. I mean, I enjoy, not that I do a lot of driving these days anyway, but driving on the highway with the music blaring,
Mm.
right? Like that kind of, it's something that just makes you feel like, yes, like right here, something that draws you back to the right here, the right now. Because, and somebody who described it ages ago of, problems don't necessarily live in the right here, right now. It's either they're in the future or they're in the past.
Ah.
So soul giving, whatever like brings you back immediately to this present moment. That could be sitting and reading a book. It could be having your absolute favorite cup of tea. I'm trying to think of other examples. I mean, I'm a crazy plant lady, so I like to spend a lot of time with my plants. So I my like home garden or my home jungle, and I'm building a jungle at clinic as well. So in between patients, I'll walk around, I'll check my on my plants and say like, hey, how are you? What's going on? And clean them up and water them and rotate them and things like this, right? So to me, that is soul giving. It's whatever makes you feel like yes.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that, Dr. Mimee, because that was part of the experience that I had when I went to Florida some time ago. Because I've always wanted to go to Jamaica, and then the pandemic, and it's like, oh God, I'm never going to get to Jamaica. And if I get there, will I be able to get back because of restrictions from coming back into the country?
Mm.
So I said, you know what? I can't make it to Jamaica, but I can bring Jamaica to me. So my husband thought I'd lost my mind. Maybe I did. Because I went there. I went and bought every plant I could find. And it literally looks, right now, it looks like a jungle. And you can't see it. Can I move this around where you can see it a little bit?
Please, can I see? I see the bromeliad behind you and then the beautiful tree on the other side.
Well, there's one way over there that takes up half the room, but I don't need everybody to see how junky my house is this early.
You're fine.
There is, where is it at? There's the, what do you call it? This is, you can't, there it is. Can you see it? What do you call that plant? No, that's not it. But there's one.
Beautiful.
There's the dragon something in there. And I can't, this one. Where is this plant at? That's my
It
favorite.
looks so happy.
Our, what do you call that plant? The monstera or something or another. Here it is. The baby one. There's one that is literally, it takes, at first I had it in the corner. I'm like, this is too pretty to be hiding in a corner. I'm sorry. So
amazing. That's on the wish list, Monstera.
Oh, let me tell you, I found it. That is a $300 plant. Ooh. I drove an hour away to find it for $45.
Stop it. Nice job.
Yes. My husband, I went to Highland Park, Illinois. That's an hour from here.
It's worth it.
I was like, where are we going? I said, we're just going for a ride. I pull up in this man's house, and I'm texting him at every stoplight saying, please be outside. And I get to his house, he's outside, and my husband's like, I thought you said we were just going for a ride. Where we going? And who is this man? I don't know him. I said, baby, I just came to get a plant. Oh, okay, that's what you need me for.
That's amazing.
Long story short, I come home and it's like the plants are speaking to me. And I'm so glad you said rotate, because plants speak to you. They actually, and you have to be quiet to hear it. You cannot hear nature speaking to you. Long story short, I got all these plants to bring Jamaica to me in his. I think it's better than Jamaica because I can come here and I can listen. I turn my water on, my little stream on the computer. I hear the water. Right. And it brings me such a peace. Things come to me, Dr. CJ. Things come to me when I'm sitting here and I'm quiet. And it's like, oh, and it's not like I'm looking for an answer, but they just come Because I'm quiet.
I love that.
Can't hear. You can't hear when you're not, when you're in nature and you're quiet and you're just listening. No headphones, just listening. You'll hear birds, you'll hear crickets, you'll hear the little things flying around, because I got more gnats now than I ever had. And it's such a peaceful environment. That's one of the taxing effects that it's a good effect. It's not a taxing effect. It's a good effect on the body. So that's one of the things that I always say, please get out in nature.
I love that. I actually had two patients that were in interior design, and they were saying that for every 1,000 square feet, we're supposed to have 12 plants.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. They were talking about,
every feet?
1,000 square feet, 12 plants minimum.
Wow. Every 1,000 square feet. How many plants? One plant?
12.
Oh, whoa, 12 plants
minimum.
Wow. Who said this?
It was two people I know that are in interior design.
Wow. I'm an exterior designer and I didn't even know.
I know. I used it as an excuse. I was like, thank you for justifying my jungle.
Oh, okay. Not that we need justification, because they call us cat ladies or crazy lady or plant ladies, one of the three. And I don't care. Call me anything, as long as you call me for dinner. And there's some vegetables on the plate. Oh Lord, I get beside myself sometimes. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. What's your experience? I want to know. What do you think about that? What do you think about every 1,000 square feet, 12 plants minimum? Okay. I think I've overdone it, but that's okay. We're doing just fine. Vieta, our sister of the microphone for Friday mornings on health and well-being, says, Grand Rising, yes, love those nature and 432 hertz videos. They are healing, calming, and balancing. Yes. And in case you don't know what she's talking about, when I just said the 432, go to YouTube, type in 432 hertz, and see what pops up. Jody Susan says a lot of people don't like water because of the metallic taste. Actually, I already said that already. I forgot to show this when it says, oh, this is a big one here. This is a big one here. This is a big one. Coffee dehydrates the body. And what do we see every day, all day? People walking around with cups of coffee, and they don't know the detriment that they're doing to themselves. So how do we fix that, Dr. CJ? Give them tea. Give them tea. Oh, no, give them water. You wonder how many people are walking around with water in a cup. Nope, they all got their little cup. If it's not Starbucks, it's somebody's Dunkin' Donut or somebody's something. And not much of it is water. Okay, we have another comment here. Grand Rising, beautiful queen teacher. Oh, bless your heart. You're looking fabulous. Thank you. I feel so much better. I've got my team with me this morning. I'm not boohooing all over the place. And I know what you said about boohooing. It's a good thing. I think I've released it all. Dr. Mimee helped me with that too. So based on 12 plants per 1,000 square feet, that's like one plant every 83.3 square. She broke it down. Okay, Miss Naima. Yes, ma'am. That's why you're the executive producer of Female Solution. Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. If you want to join the conversation this morning, we'd love to have you. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. And I want you to think about, Dr. CJ, a plan that each of us as individuals could come up with to help us in the process of detoxing our environment so that we don't have these taxing effects on our bodies. And I think one of those is plants and water. Even more important, I should say water is number 1 and plants is number 2. And if you don't have any plants and you don't want to buy any plants, or you're just not a plant person like I wasn't, go and get you a bag of dirt and put your feet in it and just sit in it and do some breathing. How's that sound? Dirt. So that's my plan. So the first one is water. Number two is plants. And if you don't like plants or don't have any, can't get any just yet, immediately you can go to any store and buy you a bag of dirt. Let's go to the phone line 773-977. You are live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment? Taxing effects on the body with Dr. CJ Mimee. Hi there.
Good morning to all this morning. This is Lois here in Chicago in the South Shore area.
Hi, Lois. Thanks for calling.
And, it's just such a blessing to be alive and to be on this show today is a triple blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was just doing an exercise which I want to commend you on the breathing exercise. And I felt it was a way of really showing God the appreciation of being alive. In the time I was taking a look at that. And the neck, the touch of the neck, I certainly, if anyone else felt it or did the exercise, the neck release and the shoulder release was really something right there on the shoulder blades. And I felt that, it was just a way of saying both the silence and the breathing. And we're all seeing things, so because of this show today, for the breath that we're breathing right now.
Oh.
And it's such a wonderful thing to know that, we all have a loss in our family.
Mm-hmm.
We all have lost a mother, father, sister, but somebody. And we must realize, we must understand, would you rather be where that person is, or would you rather be where you are now?
I think I'd rather be here.
So we can move. Right.
You are absolutely right on target. You are absolutely right on target. I want to thank you for that, Lois. Even though I am not afraid of death or what we refer to as a transition, because I think I've lived a good life. I've done what I can to help people. And if I left here today, I think I'd be okay with it. I really do. And
we all must go. We all
yes.
must go one day. But with your kindness, God has allowed you to allow all of us to realize this breath that we're breathing, that we have to appreciate it. We have to get the plants. We have to get the water. The exercise that you gave, all those things should be included. But God allowed you to pick this for all of us today to let us know. And to have the doctors to confirm it. Congratulations to all of our hosts and our guests today. It's really a blessing. It's a blessing today to be on your story. Thank you so much for the time. That bless you all, and I love you.
Oh, baby, love you too. Thank you so much for calling in. That's Lois from Chicago. Thank you, Lois. And thank all of you who are listening now. If you'd like to join the conversation, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak. And we're going to go to a quick commercial break with Dr. CJ Mimee, and we'll be right back. So stay close.
Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep its bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thank you for being part of the Higher Learning Network and the Female Solution.
That's our own Dr. CJ Mimee.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. Join me and my co-host Kareem Hamid every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show, as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-205-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution.
Oh man, gotta set the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during the season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. This is Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, spiritual counselor and advisor. I invite you to a private reading in the areas of business, health, finances, relationships. My introductory cost of $20. Please call because there is a higher power that can help me help you. 312-802-4743. Peace and blessings to you all. Call me, 312-802-4743.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on the Female Solution. That was the voice of Minister, our sister of the microphone, Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, who is in a nursing home. She's a double amputee. She had her own apartment, but because of her issue of immobility, she was it Pace or somebody who couldn't pick her up. Don't quote me on this. Someone couldn't pick her up. So when she needed to be at dialysis I think it's at 7:00 in the morning, she had to be on time for dialysis, and they could never get her there on time. So she's in a nursing home, which they won't let her out of. So she's having an issue with that. So let us keep her in our prayer, as well as Mama AZ, another one of our regular listeners who is also having some health challenges. We are praying for all of those who are living in a toxic environment. And I say a toxic environment as in an environment that you do not want to be in. I think that's toxic. And it is having a taxing effect on their bodies. And one of those, today, the taxing effects on our bodies are causing us to have issues. As I said earlier, this show is dedicated to the memory of my loving sister, Hattie Frierson Johnson, who made her transition, who worked 40 plus years at Veterans Hospital, at the VA hospital. And we were all over the weekend. We were crying. Her sister, other sister, Michelle, Karen, Julie, all the cousins, and if there's one thing that gives me peace, is that she lived a life of a rich woman. Excuse me. And she was not a rich woman as far as wealth is concerned, but as far as love is concerned, she was rich in spirit. She still is rich in spirit. She's just not in the physical form. That is my understanding, my overstanding. And the fact that she's no longer here, but she left a legacy because she's still teaching us right here, right now, because as Dr. C.J. Mimee said, our internal organs depend on movement, just like our internal tissues and fibers and ligaments and joints. All of that depends on movement, and they can't move if they don't have water. That example you gave of your patient, Dr. Mimee, of their back being more adjustable after they drank water, that's powerful. Who knew that our inner organs needed water to move, to breathe, to be flexible? Who knew? So thank you for that. And I was listening to your commercial, the commercial, Your promo, internal organs depend on movement. So we think it's really about we got to get up and go exercise. It's a little bit deeper than that, isn't it, Dr. CJ?
Any kind of movement. So just honestly, even if it's sitting at your desk, I mean, in physical therapy, although I have all the equipment in clinic, my recommendations are for things that don't require any equipment, don't have to get down on the floor, make a special space in your house or buy specific things. It's using mostly things you already have around the house or using nothing at all. So with the back mobility things that we had gone over in other shows, it's really sitting or standing, going through some side bending, going through some seated cat-cow, doing some rotation, which everybody always forgets rotation, which I think is fascinating. It makes me concerned that people are not checking their blind spots. So just going through movement while you're sitting or standing, right? So it doesn't require equipment. It doesn't make you have to change what you're currently doing, because if you're already sitting on Zoom and you don't care what you look like, you can do it there. Or if you can turn your camera off, you can turn your camera off briefly and get some movement in and turn it back on. Pretend it was an internet blip. Or if you're cooking and you're standing for a long period of time and your back gets cranky because you're standing for a long period of time, then while you're waiting for onions and garlic or whatever to soften, go through your movements. Right, so it's that kind of stuff. So when we talk about soul giving and incorporating things into the daily routine that can be helpful for your health, it's not setting aside separate time. Like it's very cute. Sometimes people come in and they're like, I just need a 30-minute routine that I will do every day. I promise I'm always gonna do it. I'm like, that's really sweet. It's very cute, but nobody's gonna do that. Because what's gonna happen is at the end of the day, you're gonna be lying there in bed or wherever. You're gonna say, I'm so tired. I only really have 3 to 5 minutes worth of energy, and I have this 30-minute routine I have to do. So instead of doing something out of that 30-minute routine, they're going to say, you know what, I will start tomorrow. I will start tomorrow. So my idea, instead of doing a specific routine where you have to start and finish it, incorporating things into your daily life, right? So the sitting and standing movement we just talked about, if you're standing waiting for your coffee, maybe you go up and down on your toes a bunch of times. If you have to go up and down the stairs, maybe you do that an extra time. Just some kind of movement, right? And the same thing with if we're talking about the soul giving activities or things, something that makes you feel alive, incorporating those also into your daily routine, right? So if you're cooking and you really love music, like music is soul giving to you, maybe you put on music while you're cooking, right? So it's not setting aside separate time to do to listen to your music and to sing. It's and the other neat thing too is if you attach these things to a day. I'm getting excited about it. So, I think it's easier this way too, because also if you attach things to an already existing routine that you do, then it's easier to remember. So it doesn't become a burden either, right? So if the back mobility, you attach it to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for example, right? You do 5 of each of them, of each direction. Probably helps digestion because you're moving. But then it also becomes a habit where you're like, oh, I'm about to have my breakfast. Let me do my back mobility.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. How cool is that? Okay. So incorporate something that you got to do it anyway. I love what you said about cooking, because I noticed people who cook good food, like my cousin Hattie, my sister Hattie, she's really my cousin, but we grew up together. So I always say my sister. She would cook. I think she had 5 children, but she would cook for like 500 people.
Oh, sweet.
She would be in the kitchen. If Thanksgiving was on Thursday, she'd start cooking on Monday. She would cook for a freaking army. Do you hear me? Let me tell you how my husband says it. She would invite you. You could bring a friend, and your friend could bring a friend. And wait a minute, that's not the end. They all take a plate home.
Amazing.
And not a little plate. I mean, people plates were stacked up this high. They wouldn't be able to walk the next day from overeating. But she cooked so much food. She was the big mama of the family. That's another reason why. Because I don't know if you know what a Big Mama is, because I know you're from Canada, right?
Yes,
Do you know what a Big Mama is?
I
Okay.
think, but go ahead.
If you haven't seen the movie, any of Martin Lawrence's movies or Tyler Perry's movies, there's always a Big Mama. Big Mama is usually a big mama who loves to cook. Hattie wasn't, she was a big mama in the sense, but she was a small lady. She was a small frame. And then, oh, by the way, go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. I'm going to type that in there too, because you'll see the information on her. Oh, and I forgot, I completely forgot. Her memorial is this Friday, Sunday, 1:30 to 6 p.m. She just knew that many people. She worked at 40 years at the VA hospital. People are calling. It's like, we got to find a place big enough. So it's a banquet hall. I don't have the exact address. I just know it's in, I'll put it on my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. All the information will be there. But I digress. She cooked with such love and such passion, you could feel it. You could literally feel it in the food. What was that movie called, Dr. Mimee? Like Water, like something? There's a movie called Like Water. I can't remember the name of it.
I'm so sorry. Popular culture. I don't know.
It's an old movie. It's like 10 years
Like water, like chocolate or something.
Yeah. That's
Oh, really? Not bad.
Yeah, and it showed the lady who was cooking and how she put love in her food, and when she was sad and depressed, and she cooked, and it was a whole different kind of food. Nobody enjoyed the food. So yeah, when you see Like Water, like chocolate, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was Hattie. That was Hattie. And Hattie, we love you, we miss you, but we thank you for the lessons that you left us with, because Dr. CJ, I never would have thought to make that part of your daily routine. So when I'm sitting here doing the higher learning hip roll, and it's okay. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank our viewing and listening audience. This is your time to chime in, 515-605-9325. Don't wait till the last minute and say, I want to speak, because we'll be going off the air. Okay. So if you're listening to us, you want to call in, please do so. And if you want to join us on Facebook, facebook.com, HLN TV show, and on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV Show. I have typed up a list of the tips that you have been giving us, and I will share those on my blog as well, on ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. I want to go back to the stress relief experience, not just the virtual stress relief experience, but the daily stress relief experience, because we have got to learn, as you say, Dr. CJ, how to incorporate something into our everyday movement. I never would have thought about that, okay, so it's dinner time now. It's time for me to do my back flexors, or just drink a cup of water. You know, one of the things I learned, Dr. CJ, is to set my alarm to go off every hour. Every hour on the hour, take a cup of water.
That was something interesting. The body is incredibly smart, and it'll learn to compensate for something that you're either not giving it, or movements, if muscles are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, body will come up with a different strategy. Since you mentioned about setting alarms, I don't remember when it was, a couple of years ago, somebody had said, when we wake up in the morning, you're super dehydrated, so you have to drink a tall glass of water every morning. And I will say, for the first month of doing it, it was like a huge chore. My body was like, nope, don't want this. And I went, well, I don't know, we're supposed to be doing this. Would you believe that after that month, and now especially, if I get up in the morning, my body's like, where's my water? Yeah, it demands it. I'm like, okay, all right, hold up. Like, we're on our way to the kitchen.
Powerful.
Yeah. So it develops the routines. Yeah.
The body is smart. It knows better than you do. It's like, okay, I'm woke. Okay, you got your fun on last night, but I need some fun too. You know what? And I think that's a good way to look at it too. Is that for the body to have fun. We want to have fun mentally, but we need to have fun physically as well. And giving the body some fun. I like that. So I've got 5 tips so far. Water, number 1, is a stressor, de-stressor, I should say. Number 2 is plants. Rotate them, fill them. If you can't fill them, go out in nature and sit by a tree, as Oprah used to say. I thought she was just had lost her mind talking about going to sit by a tree, until I'm sitting by a tree one day and I was directed. I'm out on my morning walk and something said, go by the tree. Something said, that's the inner voice, the inner spirit. And I went and sat by a tree, and all the issues that I had, all the answers came, and it freaked me out.
I believe it.
So I grabbed my pen and paper and I'm writing, right? I digress. I know I do that. But I just had to share that with you. That's why you got to get to a tree. Trees send us messages every day, all day. Plants send us messages. That's why I'm surrounded by them. Yeah, she's the crazy lady with the plants. That's okay. Okay. Number 3, dirt. Put your feet in dirt. If you can't get your feet in some dirt, if you can't walk in the grass, buy a bucket of dirt and sit at home. When you're sitting there watching TV or writing or reading or journaling, put your feet in some dirt and do some breathing exercises. Number 4, soul giving. I like that, Dr. CJ. That's what Hattie did. She gave her soul. That's why the food tastes so good. And she's cooking it for 4 days to feed 500 people when there's only 4 or 5 people in the family. A daily routine. Make it easy to remember. I can remember that. Smart body. I think we should name this session Smart Body. How about that?
I love it. I mean, the body is incredibly smart, and it's trying to communicate with us all the time. So sometimes I joke with patients that, I feel more like an interpreter of what the body messages, right? So patients come in, they say, oh, I've got these aches and pains. And I don't use the word pain in clinic when we're talking about physical therapy things and we're talking about physical pain. It's more, okay, so does the body get cranky when you sit for a long period of time? Okay, it's frustrated when you go up or downstairs. So it's more like emotional words because the body is trying to communicate and express itself. And pain is so vague that for me, it's more important to know, okay, is it cranky? Is it angry? Is it really yelling at you today? Or is it kind of like whispering? Like, is it asking for help or is it demanding something?
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a different way of looking at it. And I love the fact that you don't say aches and pains, but body messages.
It's trying to talk to us. It's trying to ask us for stuff.
Yeah. So after all this crying that I'm doing, that I did, because you see, I haven't broke down, and it's what time? It's 8:22, and I haven't cried because I thought I was going to just break down at 7 o'clock. And then Naima sent me that message. So what do you think about the message that I was getting? My body was sending me a message because I was crying so much. My head was hurting. What message was that, Dr. CJ?
I mean, grief is a whole other topic. I mean, I think it's better to let it out than to keep it bottled up. And the whole point of talking about taxing things this morning was kind of a joke with the title because of the tax deadline for today. But really, the taxing things on the body, the intention of doing, finding what's soul giving to you as an individual, right? To all the listeners. If you keep things inside or you don't address what is taxing on the body, all of those stressors will sit in the body and become stiffness. So while I feel for you and hurt for you that you had to go through all of this, I'm happy to hear that you were able to let it out as opposed to hold it in, because when holding it in, that's when the body starts to eventually, and it can do it for a while, right? If there's one taxing thing on the body or one stressor, it can do it for a while until it gets to that point where the body says, hey, I need help. I think the more we can do this house cleaning, that's what it is, right?
Okay. Cleaning. I like it. So we're in the midst of spring cleaning right now.
Right.
So we've got to spring clean our mind. I love that because we don't usually we don't think about it like, well, I didn't. I don't mean to speak for everybody else, but I certainly didn't. Lisa Cunningham says, good morning, Higher Learning Network. Grand Rising. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Lisa. We appreciate you. House cleaning. So we got some house cleaning to do, and we've got to go to the phone lines. We've got calls 336 350. If you'd like to call in, 515-605-9325. I see all these lines lit up. You got to press 1. Otherwise, we don't know that you want to speak. Did I just accidentally delete that person? I think I did. I am so sorry. Please call back. I'm looking here and I'm pointing here. We've got the switchboard over here. And I think I just accidentally deleted that person. So please call back. I apologize. But in the meantime, in between time, it is 8:24. We've got about 5 minutes before we go to a commercial break. I would like to, for you to share with our viewing audience, our listening audience, what is it that Dr. CJ does when she has experiences, taxing experiences on the body? What does Dr. CJ Mimee do?
So it's funny. I've been asked this a couple of times recently, which I think is really interesting. That I will say, as a personal, because I think, being in this healthcare giving environment where I'm constantly taking care of other people, my instinct is to take care of other people. So it hasn't been until it's really been a year. I don't even think it was no, you know what? It was when the pandemic first hit. That's when I realized how intricately my mental health is related to helping other people. And it was not having that outlet to help other people that I went, hold on a minute, what do I do? So it's only been about a year or so that I've started developing these things. So I don't want the listeners to think that, this has been forever and I've naturally like this, because it takes work. And it takes a lot of self reflection and analyzing yourself and saying okay, what do I need? It's also helpful that my patients also tell me hey, wait a minute, what are you doing for yourself? So I've had, you have the external people that also say, hey, wait a minute. So I guess my day-to-day lately has looked like, we talked about the jungle at home and the jungle at clinic. So when we talked about incorporating things you already do and adding them together with soul-giving activities, when I have my breakfast, I will go sit in the sunroom with all my plants. And instead of being on my phone, I will sit there, my phone in another room, and I will sit there with my water and my breakfast, and I will sit with my plants. And I'll take a look at them and I'll admire them. I'll say oh, you're doing so well, and then I'll rotate some of them. It's just spending time with and being present. And that's breakfast. So I'm accomplishing breakfast that I need to get done before I leave the house, but I'm also having that start of the day, which is more mindful. As one example.
Can you say that a little bit louder for somebody who's in the background?
Incorporate soul-giving activities into things you already do in a day. So
sitting in the midst of my jungle in the morning, sitting here being quiet. Your wife is not cuckoo. This is her community. Because he says to me, don't you bring another plant in here. No, he didn't say that. But I can see the look in his face. It's like, oh, you're bringing another plant home today. Oh, okay. These are my babies. I'm sorry. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. 312-849-3456. You're live on the air. Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, this is Naima, but I have Mama AZ on the line. Go right here, Mama AZ.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Mama AZ!
Yes, thank you so much. And you have my condolences. It's interesting that your sister's name Hattie. I don't want to get emotional because that's what the minister who's on the other side now in Phoenix, in South Phoenix, he had a major congregation, and he would call my mother Hattie. That's another story, and it just reminds me of where my mom is in my life and the messages that she is sharing with me. And what I really want to say is the vegetation, the trees, because I was recently in a nursing home, and that's another story. However, they placed me through the help of the ancestors and my mom and Reverend Allen. They placed me in this room that the mesquite tree could talk with me. And so one evening, I rolled the blind up, and the mesquite tree had been talking to me the whole time that I was there and working what I needed to do and show me why I was really there, what was my real purpose. And I got so quiet and really listened to this mesquite tree and the birds and the little geckos and everybody who came around. I really heard this elder grandmother, I know it was a woman, it had to be it, just giving me so much wisdom. Again, that's another show, but I'm telling you, family, it's very important to connect yourself with nature as much as possible. And when I'm able, I'm going to go to that mesquite tree, which is just right next door. The nursing home is right next door, and give it some tobacco and water, and just take a moment to listen to what the tree is downloading into my system. I've never seen anything, felt anything like this. I don't know when I was that connected to a tree, but it was a mesquite tree. And look up the meaning of mesquite, the metaphysical meaning of the mesquite. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up.
Okay.
It's very interesting. And the properties and the things that the mesquite tree is good for your body.
Oh.
I looked it up.
Okay. Thank us.
Thank
Wow.
you. Love you. Yes, ma'am. Something's going on with my phone. I'm going to hang up, mute, and listen. Thank your guest. Thank us.
All right. Thank us. Thank us. Thank us. Thank you, Mama AZ, for calling in. That's Mama AZ from Arizona. Congratulations. She is out of the was it a nursing home or hospital? But thank you so very, very much for that. Thank you.
Oh, I had to get out. They put me out. That's another story.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I love what you said about working on yourself, and that's part of working on yourself. Going to sit under that tree, which I had to pull this up. My monstera. This is another. This is the baby one. I just love them. They bring me joy when I'm not feeling joyful. Get a little older, you'll understand that. You may not understand it right now, but as grandma used to say, baby, just keep living. I promise you. We'll be right back. So stay close.
You are tuned in to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair 2020 Vision Fundraising Campaign. That's right. You can support the vision of reviving Black literary excellence in the city by simply taking your $20 or more and donating it on our website. Visit www.soulfulchicagobookfair.com and click the Donate tab on our homepage. Or give us a call at 646-359-6605, and we welcome you, helping us breathe literary life into the South Side of Chicago.
As we do our higher learning hip roll and commercial break.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deep anxiety in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm the author. About finances, family, health, job, relationships. Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answer yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the life within your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your products or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to ZeldaSpeaks.com or call 212-409-6619. Mention promo code for female solution and get free shipping. That's ZeldaSpeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit ZeldaSpeaks.com.
And thank you for joining us back here on the Female Solution. It's Monday, May 17th. Talk about taxing and vex. I can't get the date right. Thank you so much for joining us back here with our guest today, our quarterly contributor, Dr. CJ Mimee, and we are discussing taxing effects on the body. And if you noticed my last commercial, I talked about worry. It starts out, do you worry? And I have an acronym for the word worry, WORRI, a wasted opportunity to reorganize and restructure your imagination. Because most of the time we are thinking in the future of what could happen or in the past what has happened. We forget we are challenged to stay in the present moment. So for that, I have written an ebook, and the ideas still keep coming to me. I've published it, but they keep coming. So I guess I got to come out with a volume 2. But anyway, it's called I Should Have Followed My First Mind. And I'll put that on my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. So you can learn how to calm the committee that's in your head that's telling you to be stressed or worried. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I got a text from my girlfriend, Lorraine, who says, my sister of the microphone. We used to work together at WGCI back in the day. And she says, good morning, my sister. I am listening, just so you know. I'm driving, so I really can't participate right now, but I'm listening. Great show. This is something I'm working on right now. Getting more movement with the body to get rid of those aches and pains that we have, and drinking more water. I love you, and I will talk to you later. So thank you, Lorraine. She is my sister of the microphone, another sister from another mister. She met her in college when I was studying broadcasting at Columbia College. We both studied broadcasting, and we worked very briefly, for a brief moment, a year or so, at WGCI. And she left there and she went on. She was a hairdresser for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I don't know. I'm telling too many years here. Anyway, and then she started a business called Soul Ingredient Catering, SOLE. Delicious. Do we have to talk about food this morning? Anyway, her food is good. So check out Soul Ingredient. I just had to share that with you. So it is 8:39. If you'd like to get a call in, now's the time. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. As we go to the phone lines, 407-701. You are live on the Female Solution, Grand Rising. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Grand Rising, my sister. This is Bianca in Florida.
Yes!
Florida.
Grand Rising.
I hope you checked your grandchildren since you were busy.
Yes, I did. Thank you. I thought I responded. Oh, I gotta find it as soon as you hang up. Not hang up, but as soon as you finish, I'm gonna find it and play it. I thought that was so cute. Oh my goodness, I just oh, that was so.
They keep you in the moment. You're just talking about they're going into the past and the future. Those children, oh my goodness, they keep you in the moment. And I wanted to just say, thank you for sharing Patty with us, because when I thought Johnson, most of my relatives are Johnson. So
Really?
it's like, once again, it's such a small world that you and I are connected, and then here's your sister connected with a name that is part of my family. Most of my relatives in Chicago are Johnsons. I'm like, okay, this is really interesting how people in our lives seem to be family on some level or another.
Yes.
So, thank you for sharing her, and I'm sure that her memory will live on, and we're going to remember her so much. We're going to remember her because her soul is still living and moving and going. So I hope that'll give you some comfort. I'm sure you've been meditating on that anyway.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to just mention something about coffee, and I wanted to ask Dr. Mims if she's ever recommended the coffee, because I saw that somebody mentioned coffee in the comments. But she's ever recommended it for headaches, because I have studied German New Medicine teaches that when people are dealing with tumors, that they can drink coffee to reduce the inflammation, because it takes away the swelling of the tumors. And I definitely tried coffee for headaches. It worked, but my problem was sometimes I didn't drink enough water, and then that would cause me more problems. I was wondering if Dr. Mim has ever heard about drinking coffee for headaches, and in fact, to tumors and headaches, they cause swelling, and the coffee reduces swelling.
Wow.
So that's a really great question. In physical therapy, excuse me, in physical therapy, we do address headaches, which is something that's not commonly known, right? So people usually think of physical therapy as bones, tendons, muscles, ligaments, these things, but we also help with a lot more than that, and headaches is also one of them. So along with headaches, I think you're right about the coffee. So when I'm addressing headaches with patients, I try and give them all of the potential factors that might be helpful, right? So not necessarily saying like, oh, drink coffee and that's going to be your specific solution, but addressing soul-giving activities and muscle tension and jaw tightness if you're the type of person that grinds your teeth or these kinds of things. Manual therapy through the neck and upper back, middle back, these kinds of things. But to be more direct with your question, so there's a lot of things that go into headache management. But to address your question, I mean, if you look at just the ingredients of Excedrin has caffeine in it for migraines.
Really?
Right. So a little bit, right? So it's not within my scope of practice to prescribe medications to patients, but I guess I'm using that as an example to say that you're onto something about coffee, because they are using caffeine therapeutically in over-the-counter medication.
Wow, they're using coffee in over-the-counter medication. Really? Wow. Thank you for calling in and sharing that information, Viana. I had no idea such a thing.
Love you, sis.
Love you too. Thank you so much for my grandbabies. I want to open this up. So, and I'm going to leave your mic open too in case you want to chat. I want them to see can you all see that? I should ask permission. Can I show them on camera, Viana?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay. Because not everybody wants all their grandbabies on camera. But they said this to me, so I got to share it to you. Can I push that so you can see? Yeah. Okay. Go. Auntie Donna, we miss you and we love you. Tell her, come back to Florida. Come back to Florida.
I'm dolphin.
What'd you say, Tony?
I want to swim with the dolphin.
He wants to swim with the dolphins. So
I love Flipper when I was growing up.
You want to come say that on the camera?
No, I already heard it.
Come on down.
You hear Viana? She says, "Come on down."
We will be soon.
I think we're gonna come real soon. I don't know when exactly, but it's gonna be real soon because I'm telling you that dolphin experience opened me up to a whole new way of living. I have not been the same since I went there.
Yeah.
I can't even begin
Yeah,
to go.
it's kind of life changing because you're interacting with not just the dolphins, but with so many people from all over the world, and they're just so happy and relaxed. There's no tension. There's no tension, right? There's no tension, no stress, right?
Yes, I love it. I came home. I said, "Honey, we're moving to Florida." He was like, "No, we're not." I said, well, "Yes, we are. You just don't know it." I shouldn't. It's here, right? Okay. All right. Anyway, I just had to share that. We've got some people who are listening online. Thank you, love. 30, 40, 50 years. Girl, we knocked that out. Okay. Loren Devereaux, my other sister of the microphone. We are not that old. What I meant to say, you know what I'm talking about, my phone. Yeah, I know we're not that old, girl. We're just seasoned vets. That's what we are. Oh, Lisa Cunningham says, I just finished exercising this morning from 7 until 8 p.m. Yay! You got some body movement on, girl. That's right, baby. Keep that body movement flowing. Thank you, baby. Love you too, Loren. Love all of our listeners. Also, let's get to some of them before the show is over. We got like 10 minutes. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. As we go to 336-350, you are live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Was that Mom?
It's Mama AC.
Oh, okay.
The coffee, yes, it works, especially the brand of coffee. I got some coffee from Pete, from Trader Joe's. It's called Pete. It's good, and it really makes a difference. That's my opinion. And then the next thing that I wanted to ask the doctor, when I can't get the swelling to go down because I have titanium rubbing up in my muscles, it is totally out of the socket, and so the bottom of the joint, of the rod, is actually rubbing in my muscles. So last night I took 2 Alka-Seltzer Pluses, and that kind of helped the swelling. What's in the Alka-Seltzer Plus that you are aware of that helps this? I've been doing this for like 40 years with this issue, and I'm curious. Nothing else, drugs, no, nothing. Is the Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime that does the trick? And if I'm in a lot of discomfort, that Alka-Seltzer Plus and 2 bananas knock me out.
Ooh, wow. Alka-Seltzer Plus and 2 bananas knocked you out. She says, did you hear her, what she says about the Alka-Seltzer Plus?
Yeah, so unfortunately in physical therapy, we're not, it's not within our license to prescribe medications. So I'm familiar with a lot of them. With this one, I'm not entirely sure. If I may, there is a subspecialty of physical therapy that deals specifically with swelling. So it's called a lymphedema specialist. If I may make that recommendation, that if you have persistent swelling and something that keeps coming back, it might be worth finding somebody like that that's local to you so they can evaluate, okay, what's happening? Because there are manual techniques, meaning that there's specific swelling massage techniques that can help to open up. Maybe there might be a pathway that might be stuck in the lymph system. So it's very similar. So the arteries, veins, and lymphatic vessels. And they deal specifically with manual techniques. So massaging out specific areas after they evaluate you, of course, that might be able to help you get some longer term relief than having to do that every day. It's not a satisfying answer, but maybe something to think about or something to look into.
I can hardly hear you. Maybe Sister Zelda, you can connect me. I think I heard her say lymphedema.
Was it lymphoma or lymphedema?
So lymphedema.
Lymphedema.
Yeah, so lymphedema physical therapy specialist.
Lymphedema physical therapy specialist. Did you hear?
So Yeah, so for all our listeners, if you need to find a physical therapist that's local to you, and if you want to look up their credentials to see what types of subspecialties they have, APTA, so the American Physical Therapy Association, so apta.org/find-a-PT is a fantastic resource for that.
Okay. apta.org/find-a-PT.
Yeah.
Good information, because I'd never heard of lympho-physical therapy specialist. I'd never heard of. Wow. I've never heard of what she said either about the fragment being in the muscle, which is why she's having issues now. So thank you, Mama AZ, for calling and asking that question and sharing that information. Thank us. That is crucial. Get those questions in. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak so that we can get you in. I did 407. Yeah, I did that one. I think your Dr. Mimee, the fact that you referred the lympho-physical therapy specialist, which I've never heard of, I think that's pretty awesome that you are confident enough in your own work that you do to recommend others. Because I know there are just some professionals that they are just not sharing any information. If you're not coming to my center, then I got nothing for you. I'm not recommending. So I applaud you for.
Ooh, that gives me goosebumps. No, it's funny. I've had this discussion. Thank you. I guess I should say I'm not very good at accepting compliments, so thank you.
You're getting better.
I've had this discussion many times in the previous handful of weeks. I really don't believe there should be ego in healthcare. And because I don't believe there should be ego in healthcare, that's why I open my own clinic. I do free evaluations, the full hour together. Because I do that intentionally because I do believe in a team approach. So and some patients are very straightforward orthopedic situation, and we take care of the bones, tendons, muscles, ligaments. My heart also lives in the neuroscience world, so it's about quality of movement, not how much iron you can pump, in terms of how much strength you have. But I really don't believe there should be ego in healthcare. So when I do the free evaluation, it's with the intention of figuring out, okay, if this person shouldn't be here, which I would feel awful charging somebody and then sending them away. So that's why I do that. But if this person shouldn't be here, then how do I help them get to their next step? Who should they see next? Right. So it's about empowering the individual, teaching them everything I know about their situation and how to best advocate for themselves when they get to the next person. Right. So it's equipping them with specific keywords that I'm like, if you go to this specialist and you say this, they'll have to listen to you or they will, you know what I mean? Like encouraging them to stand up for themselves and say like, no, this is important. I really need to figure this out.
And I think that's powerful, Dr. CJ, that you said a very important word, team approach. Team, because you think about it, when you're in the hospital, you have a team because you're going to have a nurse, a doctor. The doctor is going to bring a specialist. There's a therapist. There's a person to draw the blood. There's a person to take you to physical therapy if you need it. So you need a team, and you need to build a team while you're at home before it gets to the hospital part. Because by the time you get there, I'm not going to say it's a little bit too late, but it's a little bit too late for intervention on your part. You've got to bring the medical professionals in. So I appreciate having a medical professional on our team here at the Female Solution who doesn't mind sharing her resources and giving information away free of charge. Doesn't cost.
Of course not. I think the more people we can help, I mean, I don't know. People were funny about me opening up my own clinic because there are two other big PT mills. We call it PT mills, like the high volume places that are within walking distance. I was like, yeah, but this is different. This is one-on-one care. Also, I don't believe in this scarcity mindset, this idea that there's only so many people out there that need help. Somebody's always going to hurt themselves, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we do have a tendency to do that. I think that is powerful beyond measure. It's the quality. This is a quote you use: a quality of movement versus strength. Now, You may be able to pick up 200 pounds, but you can't walk a block.
Exactly, right. And I've seen a lot of patients that come into clinic and they're like, well, I was discharged from my last physical therapist. They said I was strong. I was like, okay. I mean, I have a lot of people like that at the moment, even athletes that want to get back to what they want to do, and they don't have the balance in their system. They don't have the coordination within their system. They're incredibly strong to testing, but then you ask them to, you know, do some balance activities or ask them to do some like reaction type work. And the body just doesn't know how to calibrate. It doesn't know how to coordinate itself. So it's in that reteaching the brain how to control the body more than just straight strength, which is really, it's rewarding, and I really enjoy it.
I love that. Did you all hear what she said? Teaching the brain how to work the body, master the body. I love that, because we have not been trained. I'll put it like that. We have been indoctrinated. We have been brainwashed. We are still being brainwashed. So if you're going to wash your brain, wash it with your own detergent. And the best detergent is the voices that you reprogram your subconsciousness. How about that?
That is brilliant. Absolutely.
Oh, give it to the creator, because my ego would say, yes, I am brilliant, but no, you're not. You are just a vessel for the information that is coming through you. And I am so glad that I recognize that, because I'd say 10 years ago, I'd say, yeah, I am all of that and a bag of chips. No, you're not. You are that which you allow to come through you. So I'm learning. Thank you very much. Who says this? Lisa Cunningham. Thank you, doctor. Received great information and education. Thank you. How you're learning. So thank you, Dr. CJ. Loren Wilson says, we are not. Oh, I showed that one already. I'm sorry. Let's try to get in a few phone calls before we leave. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. Is that Naima Latif that's with us this morning? I'm seeing that number in the switchboard. Or am I not recognizing that number? 312-846. Okay, I can't see. All right, well, that happens. Anyway, give us your closing comments, Dr. CJ, as we are coming to a close or the end of the show. And just because you hear the words and the Naima's voice in the background, that does not mean you have to hang up. That's just, I have to play the closing, so.
Gotcha. So in terms of closing, I would think for each individual to sit down and think to yourself, okay, make a list of what is soul giving to you, what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel happy, and then try and attach those things to an already existing routine and something that you do throughout the day, right? So we gave the example of music at the same time as cooking earlier. We gave the example of sitting with your plants. It could be cuddling with your pet, reading a book, something that you really feel makes you feel more like you. And attach that into your daily routine. So that will help to address the taxing effects in the body by, instead of focusing on stress management, we are looking more at soul-giving activities. And that's going to help the physical body, because stress will sit in the body and become stiffness. So soul-giving activities. So more of like a preventative approach to physical stuff where the body's trying to talk to you.
And the body is always giving us messages. I love that. Those aches and pains are messages. You need to move your body. Even if you only do the higher learning hip roll, as long as you are moving. Give me thank you, Mary. We are saying thank you to our listeners and our viewers. We have been blessed with the opportunity to have the one and only Dr. CJ Mimee of Bologna Health. That's VELONA, Bologna Health. If you go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. You'll see all of her information there. And you can remind yourself that those taxing effects that you have on your body are just messages and they're just waiting for you to respond. And however you respond is entirely up to you. So thank you, Dr. CJ Mimee. Oh, give us your website and phone number. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. So velonahealth.com. So VELON like Nancy A, health.com, all over social media. If you prefer to text, I don't have any front desk staff because I did say it was all one-on-one. So texting is easier than calling. It's 312-324-0953.
That is 312-324-0953. Is that correct?
Yes.
All righty. And we thank you. We appreciate you. And hopefully we'll see you next quarter. Thank you for the tip.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for today.
Thank you. We love you. Mwah!
Love you too.
All right. Thank you. Thank us. And thank Mary Shelton, our author.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Thank you for being a blessing to us this morning.
You.
We appreciate you.
Be a blessing to everybody.
Star. And I am getting feedback from somebody, and I wonder if that's Naima Latif, who is ready to come on at the 9 o'clock hour. Yes, it is time for the after show with Naima Latif, the executive producer of the of the Female Solution, who hopefully is joining us now. Naima, are you there? And until she shows up, I'm hearing feedback in the background, so I am going to have to mute all lines until I can figure out where it is. And I do believe that was Naima's line. Naima Latif, 312. Yep, that was your line. So until she joins us here, be sure and tune in tomorrow for Self-Cell-Care with Jody Susan. Powerful. Oh, she sent me some information. It's on my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. Okay, I got you, Naima. You must go there and see the information because it talked about an herb that I know of, fennel, because I drink coat throat tea every single day. And I do know that there is fennel. I just discovered. That's why I love that tea so much, because there's fennel. I bought some coat throat tea. As a speaker, you have to learn to nourish your, what's this? Your throat, your vocal cords. That's why I always have water handy. So someone told me when I was just starting out in motivational speaking some 20, 30 years ago, someone told me to get, she was a singer too, opera singer at that. She says, honey, you need to get some coat throat tea. She says it has fennel in it. Fennel. Fennel tastes like licorice because, the licorice, black licorice, it has that and it's very soothing. So I bought some coat throat tea the other day. I was in a hurry, wasn't looking. And it's a coat throat tea, but it has echinacea. And I was like, okay, so where's the fennel? Because I don't feel it. I don't know where it is. So I go and look at the box and it's like, oh, it's got echinacea. It doesn't have my fennel. So it's like, I got to go back to the store because you can feel, it's like the slipperiness of the fennel. You can feel it soothing and coating your throat. So if you ever have throat issues, please go get yourself some coat throat tea because that's what I use. So that's Tuesday, Self-Cell-Care with Jody Susan. Go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. And you'll see the information that she shared with me that I left there. Also, you'll see the information on my sister Hattie's Celebration of Life that's coming up next Sunday, 1:30 to 6 p.m. It's a memorial. It's not a funeral. We are memorializing her life because that is the joy that she brought us, and we want to share that joy with all of the people who knew her and continue to love and support her, the joy of her life. Okay, that was Tuesday. Wednesday, Naima Latif and Kareem Hamid, repairing family relationships. Thursday, it's the Women's Roundtable. And on Friday, health and wellness with Viata. And you just heard Viata on the line a few minutes ago. She's in Florida with our lovely grandbabies, and I forget their names. Lord have mercy. Let me open up her mic so she can tell me. Is it Isaiah? And you know I should know their names. Where are you at, Beata? Oh, we've got another call here. 706-202. You're live on the after show. Grand Rising. What's your name and where you calling from?
Grand Rising, and my name is Kwame Sunhorse, and I'm calling you from the stolen lands of the Muskogee Creeks here in Georgia. And my condolences, and hearing you sharing the energy, because I was on a call, and I called in when you first started when you were doing the breathing, but I came back in, and the part for me, hearing how you have expressed love for your sister, she lives in you. The vessel is no longer here. But the energy of who she was is in memory. That's about the memorial. It's that we'll remember you live as long as you speak the name of the person. The vessel doesn't have to be here. It's only when you stop speaking it. And when you stop speaking it, it's like a person that can't hear.
Oh.
Yeah. You tell a person that does not hear is deaf. You can't hear. And when you no longer speak the person's name, it is deaf.
Oh.
So as long as you speak her name, she lives in you. And so that's the part of the understanding that we have to understand that, they're never dead. They're energy. So energy is never made and never destroyed. So the thing of it is that she will always be that energy because you have a memory as though everyone that she touched in her life past has a memory of who she was and is to them. So that love that she gave them lives in them, and she will always be here.
Powerful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank us. Thank us. Thank us. Thank us. But thank you. That is the voice of Kwame Sunhorse from Georgia. That is the way to look at it. Her vessel is gone. The vessel. But she lives in us because we're energy. And that's something that they don't teach us about energy work. That's what that's what we all are. We just don't realize that we are energy. A good example of that is when you walk across the floor on the carpet, if you have carpet or if you've had carpet at some point in your life, and you'll feel that little shock. I used to wonder what that was, why you feel that shock. And it's because the energy in you and the energy in the material, which is the carpet, it connects and it creates a little spark. So that's one way of realizing that you are electrical. Remember I talked about when you go and sit beneath the tree or near a tree or beside a tree, or you can't sit on top of a tree, but at the base of the tree, and you connect with the earth that is underneath you. Kwame, Brother Kwame Sunhorse, I know I can say it, but you can explain it so much more eloquently. Would you be so kind to share that information of energy with our listeners and viewers?
Well, and the tree being an antenna because it's rooted in the earth, and in it being, tall and straight, it's receiving energy, bringing it down from above and putting it into the earth. When you take your root and sit it next to the tree, and that you're connecting your root to the internet of the tree, and when you put the base of your spine next to the tree, you're connecting your antenna. Your vertebrae are like the trees in itself. And so what you're doing is you're connecting back to yourself. That's why in the movie Avatar, they connected what? The hair, because the hair follicles are the antenna connection that the tree's leaves have and the branches from it.
Mm.
So every leaf on a tree is life, and it's a breath, because the tree gives off the energy of oxygen, and we inhale it, and it takes it back in, and it uses its photosynthesis.
Mm.
So there's an exchange with the tree, and the roots. When you sit your buttocks on the earth, that means that your root chakra, and being a woman, your womb connects to the earth. And when a woman sits on the earth, and so that's the power of her connecting back to her cosmic self, because the womb of woman and the womb of the Milky Way and the black hole are one and the same. The hole and the black hole in the Milky Way takes in light and gives off stars. The woman takes in light and gives off life. She gives the next life.
Wow, that's powerful. See, he's so much more eloquent than I am. Thank you so much, Baba Kwame Sunhorse from Georgia. And I'm going to keep your line open, Baba Kwame Sunhorse, as we go to the microphone of my executive producer of the Female Solution, and that would be my sister, Naima Latif, the one and only Naima Latif. Welcome, my sister. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's been a bit of a challenge with my computer. I think I have to rearrange a few things. I have a lot of materials on my desktop. I think Beata was giving us the analogy the other day about when you have too many things, too many old things that you're carrying that are taking up too much space, and so you can't move forward because you're still holding on to old things. And she made that analogy, and I think about that a lot of times. That's in our lives. We are holding on to old pain, old memories, things that we need to discard or put away, and so they create interference where we can't move forward. We can't take advantage of new opportunities because we're still stuck in the clutter of the past. So I definitely had that experience today. So, but I think also when we go through things in life, it helps us to gauge where we are in our progress. This past weekend, I had conversations with close friends that were going through challenging relationships. And sometimes there's relationships that end because it's time for them to end. The reason for their being in your life has changed. Maybe this was somebody that you were involved with at a certain phase in your life, and you might have become a new person since then. So they don't fit you anymore. And that's something to let go. And sometimes we hold on to anger at old relationships as if someone did us wrong because we changed or they changed and the relationship no longer fits who we are. And we're still holding on to anger at that person because maybe the ending wasn't pleasant. But I think we have to learn how to grow and let go and just keep a hold of the good memories, but let go of the negative memories that keep us from being willing to step forward into a new relationship, and even forgiving ourselves for those decisions that we made that may not have been in our best interest. We carry a lot of clutter with us. And if you think of trying to climb a mountain, somebody gave this analogy. If you're trying to climb a mountain with a heavy backpack with a lot of old things, a lot of, whether it's old clothes or old shoes, old appliances, whatever, you got this big heavy backpack on your back, the higher you climb, the heavier it's going to get. So eventually you have to start throwing things out so that you can carry it. And the higher you go, the more you have to lessen the load. So that's what we find out in life as well. The higher we climb in our ascension process and becoming who we're becoming, we have to let go a lot of those old things, a lot of the old hurts, a lot of the old attitudes that no longer serve us for where we're going. We're going to a higher level. We're going to a greater expression of ourselves. And if we're still mad at our high school boyfriend because he cheated on us with our best friend, we're still holding on to that. It's going to be very difficult for us to rise to the higher realms of existence, where we are able to manifest the things that we desire in life, and we're able to manifest the goals that we have of achieving things. We're able to manifest the harmonious relationship and partnership we'd like to enjoy in terms of companionship. So we have to let things go. And there's grieving that happens even when a relationship breaks up. Anything that ends, there's a grieving process. You're sad because of what you feel you won't experience again. And that's okay, because you also have the joy of what you did experience. And that's one of the things we learn when someone makes a transition, is that what we learned from their life, and I know this sounds probably morbid, but I enjoy funerals. I enjoy the life celebrations of people, because it reminds us that we're touching lives every moment of every day. And everybody whose life we touch, they have a memory of us. So as we ascend to higher consciousness, we make a conscious decision to have a positive impact on every life we touch, because every moment is a memory that we're leaving someone with. So when we transition out of this physical body, the only thing we leave behind is the memories that we created with people in our interactions. So we want every memory to be a good memory, because those are all the things those are things that come up in your mind once a person transitions. And I always think about that every time I go to someone's life celebration. I think of how they impacted my life. That's kind of what brings tears to our eyes. Sometimes we miss the good times, we miss the love, we miss the joy. And it's good to be missed. We want people to miss us. We want people to feel deeply, oh, that person really touched my life. Oh, they really made a difference. We want people to feel that about us. We definitely don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm so glad she's gone. So,
because there are people like that.
There are people like that, where
remember the movie with I think it was King something. Whoopi Goldberg played the mom. LL played the son. And when the funeral director asked Whoopi, what do you want on his headstone? Whoopi said, mean and surly. And everybody was like,
I remember that. She didn't lie. She said,
mean and surly. I was like, ooh, yes, Lord.
I remember that movie. But you think about that. What do you want? What do you want on your tombstone? I mean, what do you want to say?
Baba Kwame Sunhorse wanted to comment.
Yeah, and what assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
What she's saying is very important, because the thing is, there's a black art picture called the funeral procession. And you see these long lines of people going towards the church. It's a long line. And so what you're saying is that, you can tell the way a person lives his life by how many cars in the funeral procession.
Wow.
Long line of cars that are falling behind that hearse. People are going to your last resting space to know where you're going to be resting at, because they care that. But if you only see one or two cars in there, and even when you have the billionaires that die, you don't see a Brinks truck going to the funeral.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You can't take it with you.
Because you ain't carrying it with you, because there's no luggage rack in a coffin.
Okay.
Right. Ain't nothing to buy.
Right.
It's
And,
true.
and part of it is that how many hearts that you touch
Yes.
throughout
Mm.
your living.
Mm. Wow.
How many hearts did you touch? And you know, you do want to feel that your life mattered. And that's I think I was watching a film where someone had said something about what would you do if you got to the end of your life and you realized nothing you did really mattered.
Ooh.
How would you feel, you know? And I think about that. Sometimes people spend their whole lives doing things that don't matter, or they spend their time maybe acquiring things, but they stepped on a bunch of people and hurt a bunch of people. And then at the end of your life, you realize not only can you not take any of that stuff with you, people are just going to divide it up among themselves, and they're really glad you're gone so they can get your stuff.
Yep.
So, you know, what did you do that would make people miss you? And like Baba Kwame said, you know, have all these cars that are following your hearse because they want to honor you, your last rites, because you mattered. I need to make some more friends with some cars. Make sure I got some people. But all my friends are walking, so don't think that I didn't have nobody. I just did. My friends on the bus.
Baba Kwame.
Leo Biscaglia, he was a motivational speaker
Yes.
in the 80s, and he was a professor, and he taught a class at UCLA called Love, and he wrote a book called Love. And he had one quote in there. He says, when you die and you go and stand before your maker, and he asks you one question, why didn't you become you, my child? What would you tell him?
Oh.
Why did you become, what was it? Yeah, what was the question? Why
didn't you become you?
Oh.
Who you were supposed to be here on earth? Why didn't you become?
Ooh.
Wow.
And the author show last night we were talking about, and I was saying 3 things that I was taught that you ask a person on their deathbed. The thing that you ask 3 questions are: have you done everything that you came on this earth to do? Did you do it? The second question is, have you forgiven yourself? And have you forgiven everyone that you had harmed? And the third question would be, are you ready to return back to the spirit that you came from? If they can do it, they will have an easy transition. If they can't, if they have one part of that, any of those questions that they didn't do, it has a challenge for them to leave this planet.
Oh, wow. Oh, so I've often heard people say that people sometimes get stuck between here and now, or here and there. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Here and there, here now.
Purgatory.
Oh, they call it.
In the old days, they used to teach in Catholicism. They called it purgatory.
Oh yeah, when we're not quite crossed over.
Between worlds, and that's because of the way in which you left. That's why the lynching museum goes to the spot where lynching took place, and they do an atonement ceremony at the spot, and then they remove them of the earth and take it back with the person's name on the jar, and they put it up in the museum. It's because you have to heal and to release that spirit. And doing that is in forgiving what happened to you here. We know that happened, and we're releasing you to return, but we will keep the memory of you in the soil and your name on the soil because you were part of this earth.
Powerful.
You know, the interesting thing is a person, you know, it, like you said, depending on how you left, sometimes a very sudden transition, you know, a person, it might take a minute before they realize they're actually dead. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. What was the name of it? Was it Sixth Sense? Where the little boy said, I see dead people.
Oh yeah.
And Bruce Willis was in it.
Yeah.
And the surprise ending, Bruce Willis was actually dead, and he didn't know. He didn't realize he had died. But transitioning, and I know Dolores Cannon, who's a past life regression therapist, she said people describe it as like it's easy as getting out of one chair and into another. I mean,
wow.
It's a smooth thing. You think you suffer through it. No, but really, it's just like, you get up and go, So your consciousness is always here. It's just first it's inside your body, then your consciousness is outside your body. And once your consciousness is outside your body, it doesn't have any of the physical restrictions of 6 senses. So then you can literally be anywhere at any time, seeing and hearing everything, because you become a part of the all that is, And people who have described the experience say that once you have gone through that, you're never the same, because you literally have understood how you made people feel, because you feel their feelings. Like you merge with them. You feel everything that you made them feel during whatever experience you had with them. You literally feel it from their point of view. And so that level of consciousness, it makes you, if you survive a near-death experience and you've had that experience of transitioning out of your body and reviewing your life and seeing how you made people feel in every encounter, you never want to hurt a person again, because you really understand that you are hurting yourself. You feel everything that you made people feel. And so I try to live my life with that consciousness now, knowing that whatever I say, I'm going to feel it. Once I get to the other side, I'm going to truly feel what I've made someone else feel. So I want to consciously make people feel good. I want to consciously forgive people for whatever mistakes they made, and try not to make any myself. Because when you review your life, you will see and feel everything you made someone else feel. And you really do understand everything. And it's that all knowing. And so even people that you didn't mean to hurt, you will understand that you hurt them. And, it's a lot of things that if we knew, we would live our lives differently. I think there have been enough people with modern technology that can, bring you back from the dead and all that. We've had enough people who have experienced life on the other side for us to not say, oh, we don't know what happens when you die. We do know. We've had people who've come back and told us, look, this is what happens. You leave your body, you meet people who have transitioned, you review your life, you make some assessments, and you make a decision, and they will ask you, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And usually if you have something you haven't finished, like Baba Kwame said, you didn't become yourself, you didn't become who you were supposed to be, then you make a decision to come back and finish your life. But your life is never the same after that death experience, because you really do understand why you're here, and you really do understand that you are affecting everybody, and you're going to feel what you made them feel, and you don't want anybody to feel hurt. So we've had enough people who have had that experience for us to not live life in blind faith anymore. We can live life with the knowledge of exactly what's going to happen when we leave here. And so we can make conscious choices while we're here.
Go ahead, Baba Kwame.
You start the program and doing breathing exercises. That's right. The morning mindfulness that you do with the breath. And the part of it is that we are the breath, because when you have that near-death experience, you stop breathing. And then what happens is that your heart is restarted to generate you to take a breath again, because when you come out of the womb, the plugs are removed from you, and you take in the first breath that begins your life. And when you go on the deathbed, you take the last breath. And so in between the first breath and the last breath is all the breathing and interaction, because we're still breathing the same air that our ancestors breathed. It just recycles through the true energy, but it's the same breath that we're still breathing in this earthly body. It's the only exchange. It's through the breath that we live. Because if you hold your breath and you're trying to stop yourself from living, all you're gonna do is pass out. Until that last breath leaves the body, the force of life stops in this realm and goes back to being the energy of breath.
Powerful. That's
Yes.
Kwame Sunhorse from Georgia. That's powerful.
Yes.
We all need to breathe as often as possible, and most of us are breathing incorrectly, and we wonder why we have the issues that we have. We don't even know how to breathe.
Right.
We breathe shallow all day.
Yep. Not even getting all the lungs. Yeah. Yes. We need that oxygen to go through the whole body. Yes.
And I often wonder when I see people with oxygen tanks, the thought occurred to me that why do they need the oxygen tank? Why can't they just take deep breaths on their own? And then, because I'm, in the forest listening to the trees, the thought came up to me and said, well, up until this point, they have not had enough oxygen. So them doing deep breathing is really not enough. So they need a little assistance. See, I told you things come to me.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I didn't need a doctor to tell me that.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of being in tune and getting to the point where we realize that we are antenna, just like a radio station. We're sending out and receiving messages all the time, and trees are the earth's antenna, so they are constantly transmitting information to us. So we as energy beings, we are constantly affecting the energy of everybody around us. So even when we physically transition, even when that breath of life leaves our body, the energy that we left is still here. And I mean, you can just think about when you go into somebody's house and they're no longer there, maybe they've transitioned, but you still feel them. You still feel their energy in the things that they had, because your energy, it's still around, it's still among us. So if you think of someone who maybe they're full of joy and laughter, and when they come around you, they uplift you, they make you happy. If somebody's in a bad mood and they fussing and cussing, that affects your energy as well.
Yep.
So if you live in a place over a period of time, your energy is going to affect that environment. And if you've ever moved into a house or an apartment where maybe people got a divorce or maybe there was some violence, it will affect your relationship because they left that energy behind. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you, even if you buy a house or move into a new apartment, that the people who live there were full of joy and love, because their energy is going to affect you, even if they're not physically present.
Yep. You wonder why you feel the way you feel.
That's why there's a ceremony in which you do in moving into a new space. Doing smudging and doing, it's just like we have old things. You don't take old brooms and old mops into a new house or a new apartment. I do. But these are things in which we have, old wives' tales that tell us you do certain things that you don't take with you from one space to the other, because you're carrying energy. And the energy, like she said, is stuck there. But the thing is that there's a ritual you do with sage, and you burn sage, and you come in and you walk in the door and you go to your left, and you go through the whole house all the way through it, smudging. And then the thing that you do and you come out to the right, because you go in through the left, and that you're taking your heart into the space and you're clearing whatever energy was there and negativity. And then when you come out through the right, is that you're closing it with the spirit, and you let the sage stay in there and close the door and the windows down. And then you go back in and you open up and you let that energy out, because the sage attracts all of the negative energy and spirit that's in there. And when you release it, you let the smoke out and you release that energy that was stuck in that house. And what do when mopping the floor? You use ammonia, bleach, and you clean the hydroponic rooms, the bathrooms with certain chemicals. You do certain energy to change the energy in that space in order for you to create it for your sacred place.
I've heard you should wash the walls too, because you know the energy is embedded in the walls, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely cleansing where you live. If you are moving to a place and you're not the first inhabitants, that means you need to cleanse.
We had a place in my hometown, they called it the Red Door, it was the old jail. And they had beat so many people and blood was into the walls that when it rained, even though they painted it, it would always come back bleed through.
That's scary. That's scary.
People that got harmed in that facility still stayed there, and it bled through anything that they put on the wall trying to cover it.
What?
Ooh,
Wow.
Twilight Zone kind of stuff.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. That's powerful. See, that's why we need to always be in connection with the elders, because they just have information that we just don't know. We may have not heard. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, we may not have heard it. We think it's, old wives' tales. But, there's always an origin to every tale that we hear. It has roots somewhere. And, when you have extremely negative things that happen, and we talked about this, how we may need to start a practice where we go and bring flowers, live plants, live flowers to places where negative things have happened, because we got to change the energy. And as you experience, plants have the ability to change the energy in a place. And, a lot of places where I think, if we hear of some tragedy, some shooting or something, we need to go and change the energy just by bringing plants, bringing beautiful flowers, and change the energy, because otherwise it's gonna still be in that place. So
right,
and powerful thing you can do. Bring a flower.
When you see shootings and things that happen, what's the first thing our people do? We create monuments and memorials on that spot.
Yes.
To reduce the energy of that person. And doing that, we overstand in our tradition, even with old winos and folks that stand on the corner, the first thing they do when they open the bottle is say, "This is seven brothers that's not here."
Yes.
That's libation. That's a libation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know that it's coded in our DNA that we do these ceremonies and rituals and not understanding that these are part of our culture in honoring our ancestors and those that have gone on before us.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's sometimes we do things and don't even know what we're
doing them.
Yeah.
We just do them.
Like in our cellular memory, just do this.
Yeah, I never thought, because when the first time I saw that, I think it was Cooley High, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, where they what was it? Coaches.
Yes.
Yeah, had gotten killed, and let's pull a little something out for the brother. And I was like, why are these wine heads pouring out? And it's like, see, there you go, being judgmental, because you don't know. You call them wine heads, but it's more than a wine head. It's more. You just didn't know what was going on because you were not informed as to what the real deal Holyfield was.
Well, there's some wisdom in some wine heads.
Okay.
One thing that I noticed, because if you've ever been in an arena where you sort of watch the winos pass around a bottle, you think, but look how they're sharing. You know? And why can't we all have that spirit of, well, hey, we scuffled up just enough money to buy this one bottle, but we're gonna all share it.
Right.
That's to me is a higher spiritual consciousness than people who have the best food, but they'll keep it to themselves and let somebody over there, hungry and starving, and say, well, I'm not giving it to you. I'll throw away what I don't eat in the garbage. You can fish out the garbage and get it.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's things to be learned from the wisdom of a winehead.
I love it. The wisdom of a winehead. I got to do an ebook on that one. The wisdom of a winehead. Go ahead, Baba Kwame Sunhorse.
Right, but and what you said is very powerful, because if we could unify, if you ever watch people doing the electric slide, everybody is in unison.
Yes.
Like the fish when we're dancing on the dance floor. If we could take that same energy and construct businesses and things that we would work together with that same fervor of energy and coming together and moving in unison, we would be a lot different place than we are today.
You know what's interesting? I was reading about the way agriculture was done in many of the African communities that were farming communities, and the whole, and the villages participating in the planting process. And there's kind of a dance that goes along with it. And, it might even look something like the electric slide, where everybody's moving in unison and you're doing you take a step, you put the seed in, all that, but it's a dance and a song that goes with it. And that actually, we've been talking about the science of sound and so forth. So the things that we did, we were doing things scientifically, rhythmically, and in unison in a way that helped with the planting of the food. And we were putting a certain vibration in the soil and in the food that was healthy. And so people watching that, if you don't know the science of sound and rhythm, and you don't understand how doing that together in unison as a group, as a community, how that enhanced the vibration that went into the food, then you say, oh, they just did darkies singing and dancing in the field. No, but we're scientifically, energetically affecting the food we're planting, and we're doing it as a community activity. So we've made it fun. We brought joy to it. We put that vibration into the ground, and just think of the healthy quality of the food that's going to come out that has been planted in that manner. And with everybody participating, there's a community spirit in it. There's a unity, there's a sharing. And this is how we should be planting our food. This is how we should be growing our food. We should be bringing joy to the soil that we're planting, and even creating the vibration in the air as we're singing. I mean, all of these were scientific principles that we're just now relearning that we knew before we got here. So if we look at things differently, then we'll appreciate the knowledge that we have.
Baba Kwame?
What you're saying is something, the part that you missed out on in the music and dancing in the unison, nobody wore shoes. The souls were all working in unison, connected to the earth.
Oh, wow.
Energy as the earth was flowing through the beings that were there doing in unison. All their souls were connected to the earth. They didn't wear shoes.
Yes. Yes. And that was another thing, being connected to the earth through the soles of your feet, all of these things that we did, that we let other people label as primitive and ignorant. These were all health producing things, life producing things, life generating things that made us healthier, made the earth healthier, made the food we grew and ate healthier, all of these things. So we should learn from that, not to let other people ridicule our traditions and our ways of life, because there's some scientific benefit that we were getting out of all of these things that we
all of these things that we
what you're saying is that where spirituality ends, spirit never ends. Where science now is stepping in, because they tried to look at all of this scientifically. Now they realize this is all spiritual. We need now the science and technology to understand the resonating frequency of when you connect your soul to the earth and the energy that flows through you and the people unifying together. They try to distort it by taking you out of being barefooted and walking, putting on plastic shoes and rubber gym shoes and putting down asphalt and concrete. Is to disconnect Now they're seeing scientific. Their study is that this is not uncivilized. This is natural.
Thank you.
Right.
The order, what we've done is unnatural.
Yes.
So now they're selling it back to us and saying, "Oh, we can for $39.95, we will teach you how to do this."
Yep.
And when you listen,
I don't want barefoot for $39.95.
Lord have mercy.
But that's what keeps happening. We let people sell us back our culture that we had in the first place.
Hello.
Stuff we were doing for free all the time. But
Thank
now
you.
someone else has said it's officially okay, and
Right.
we give it a fancy name and charge us some money, and we pay and do the thing that our great grandparents did for nothing.
Thank
You know,
you.
that was a way of life.
For free.
Yes.
what happens with it? But what happens with it is we do it better than what they even come up with scientifically.
Yes, sir.
Because we have theory that is already in us. We just reconnect back to ourselves.
Thank you.
Yes, connect back to ourselves. So we really, I mean, some of us have the elders among us. I'm gonna convince my 98-year-old mother one of these days to come on the show and talk,
Oh.
because I'm reading her memoirs, and you know, we were talking the other day about just walking barefoot, how that was a thing that you did when the spring came. You took your shoes off, and people walked in, and then of course they had the dirt roads and everything, and so they were always connected to the earth. That was a way of life, and the children didn't get a whole lot of sicknesses either. You had natural immunities.
Sure
So,
did.
yes. So like Mama Kwame saying, all this asphalt that separated us from the earth, from the healing that comes from the earth. So now our children have all these problems, these asthma and every other kind of thing that comes from not getting enough trees giving you oxygen. So when you grow up like that, where you're missing nature, you're missing plants, everything is concrete and asphalt. Well, then when you get to be 67 years old, you walk around with an oxygen tank because your lungs never had the capacity, were never empowered with the capacity to breathe deep and breathe good natural air, good oxygen coming from the trees. So now that we know better, we should do better. We should not be looking to raise our children in high-rise buildings with no trees and concrete everywhere, and no playground where there's natural grass growing. They gotta play around on asphalt and bang up their knees and everything on concrete. I mean, we should know better now that we need to have our children in natural environments, because that's healing for the mind, the body, the spirit. Our children are so wired up and so unnatural in their lifestyle, so much anger. This is not natural for children. Children are supposed to have joy. They're supposed to laugh. Life is supposed to be fun. Why are our children living under stress? Stress itself is unnatural, but to have a child under stress, what kind of life is that? So we should learn from the errors that we're making so that we can raise a generation of children that can look at what we did and say, okay, well, we're seeing what they did was incorrect. We learn from their mistakes so we don't keep making them. And I think this is what this time we're living in now. It's a transition from the old way that didn't work. It produced a lot of things we don't like. And so now that we see what we don't like, let's make a conscious decision to do what we do like. Let's spend more time with our families.
Mm-hmm.
Let's teach our children at home the principles that we want them to live by, things that matter in life, like kindness to other people, sharing what you have, spending time with elders, all these things that now we see are good for us. Take time to walk outside barefoot in the grass and hug a tree. You know,
Yep.
should be enjoying the sunlight and the sunshine. Breathe deeply. You know, having your face covered. Well, now you're going to appreciate being able to breathe, aren't you? Because you've been walking around with your face covered. Well, now you can appreciate air, appreciate oxygen being given to us by the plants. And now we can structure a society that is natural as opposed to the unnatural. So I'm really grateful to be around and be alive in this time of transition. And there are many people who have chose to transition at this time because they will have an opportunity to enjoy life on the other side where there is no stress. And then should they choose to reincarnate, to re-enter a fleshly existence, they can come during a period in Earth's existence when we don't have this negativity. So sometimes leaving is a decision that a soul makes because they would rather enjoy life on the other side when there is no stress, and then come back at a time when we have cleaned up the mess that we are living in now and truly enjoy life on earth. So all of us who have seen friends transition, family members transition, maybe some people transition at a very early age and you think, oh, but they didn't have a chance to live. Well, yes, of course they did. They were living before they entered a body. They're still living. And if they choose the earth experience again, they're going to choose a better earth experience because the earth is going to be a better place. So there's nothing to be sad about. We should rejoice at those who touched our lives because they taught us something and we taught them something. So they left a little piece of themselves with us and took a little piece of us with them. And so everybody should be feeling joy.
And I do feel joy, and it's all because of my team this morning. I want to thank you for sending me that message. I read it on the air about getting all the boo-hooing out.
Yes.
Like, Lord, now how am I going to do show money? I can't stop crying. Every time I turn around, I'm crying. And the way you said it so eloquently. It's like releasing all of that. Because if you don't, I had a headache.
It'll still be there, be bottled up, and feeling like your head will explode.
Yeah.
So I mean, and we should also, because unfortunately we will tell children, oh, don't cry. No, let them cry.
Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Yes, cry. You can't.
I'll give you a hug, let you cry, and it'll be okay. But I'm not going to tell you don't cry because you need to cry. It releases toxins, it releases stress, it does all those things. And if you ever notice, like a child, if they run and fall and hurt themselves, they'll cry, and then 5 minutes later they're okay.
Yep.
You gotta let them cry, and then then the pain is gone, everything else. So that's how it is. That's the wonderful gift we've been given to express and release.
Well, I am so grateful that I've had the opportunity to release, because otherwise I don't know how this show would have went today, because I don't think and it's okay to cry on air. It's just that I just didn't want to be crying all the way through the show. So.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Can you understand what she just said? No, girl, she was crying so much she got me crying now. I don't know what to do.
But it's interesting how connected we are, that our emotions are contagious. If you cry, someone else will start to cry.
Yes.
Been to a place and somebody gives an emotional speech and then you're crying. So that shows you how we're all energetically connected.
Yes.
We feel what other people feel. And tears are one of those things that is so contagious. And we would all been crying because that's just, we're all connected.
And I want you to connect our audience with what's coming up on this week, because I have a 10 o'clock Zoom, and that's in about 5 minutes.
Let me make this real quick. Okay, well, tomorrow, of course, you got
Jody Susan.
Jody Susan, self-care with Jody Susan. Definitely great message coming on tomorrow. We want you to tune in for that. And Wednesday,
you think today was good? Oh, wait till tomorrow.
Yes. And of course, we want you all to, if you want to see a visual, go to Susan Essentials on Facebook and YouTube and see our beautiful Jody Susan. And then Karima will be back with us on Wednesday for the Female Solution, of course, repairing family relationships. And we're going to have a wonderful author on to talk about some of those issues that come up in our families. And then Thursday, Women's Roundtable, we've got a guest on that is handling some of the societal problems when it comes to addressing issues with our children. And then on Friday, of course, is health and well-being with Viata. And this coming Saturday, this is our 4th Saturday, and Wisdom with Mama D. We will experience a wonderful expression of wisdom and understanding as we shape our future based on understanding our past. So join us. And then, of course, we start all over again on Sunday with Soul Purpose Healing with Viata. So we look forward to that as well. And we thank all of you for being with us every day on The Female Solution. And if you ever miss an episode, just go to the archives, www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. And you can listen in on any show that you missed. And you can leave your comments on our Blog Talk channel.
And you can also give them your contact information too, because right now I'm posting the information for the memorial for my sister Hattie, and that's going to take me a few minutes. So go ahead and give them your contact information.
Well, of course, you can reach us on our Female Solution Facebook page, www.facebook.com/thefemalesolution. And you can reach me at naima.thefemalesolution@gmail.com. And my name is
you saying that awfully fast, girlfriend.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm fast.
You need to slow down. Yeah, you need to slow down a little bit to say that so they can grasp it, because in media we are programmed to speak very fast.
Yeah, looking at seconds ticking off.
Right.
So that is Naima.
Thank you.
The Female Solution, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, you can look at the screen. If you're watching the screen, it's NAIMAH, Naima.thefemalesolution@gmail.com. Feel free to contact me with your suggestions on show topics, or even if you feel like you'll be a good guest, be sure and let us know. We'll be glad to share your wisdom, understanding, knowledge, skills, whatever you'd like to share with our global audience. And you can reach me at 312-849-FILM. That's 312-849-3456. And we're always grateful to hear from our listening audience. We are grateful to our loyal listeners who are part of our daily think tank. And we appreciate all of your comments and suggestions, because we are here to transform the world from the way it is to the way it should be.
And thank you for that transformation for the memorial for my sister Hattie Frierson Johnson. As you can see, there she is.
Yes.
This was her 60th birthday, I believe it was.
Wow.
And here is the obituary, the celebration of life for Hattie Frierson Johnson. It will be Sunday, this coming Sunday, May 23rd at 2 p.m. I said 1:30. Don't ask me why I said 1:30. It's from 2 until 6 p.m. And that will take care at Rose Banquets, 1370 North Avenue. That's in Melrose Park. And that is my information to share today. And I hope that you all will share this, because she knew so many people. Lord have mercy. I had no idea. I mean, I knew she worked at the VA for like 40 years. So I know she knew a lot of people, and a lot of people knew her because she moved through the ranks. She went from
a
worker to a boss, so to speak. She was a supervisor, and she just helped people. She just had a way of helping people. That's what she did, and we are so glad to have had her in our lives for that amount of time. And that would be Hattie. I want to find another picture of her quickly before I sign off. So if you want to give them some information about the on-air network, because that's we'll talk about that for a minute.
Yes. Well, we of course are part of a global news network, and it's dedicated to promoting those communicators that are uplifting our lives with transformational information. And of course, that includes our Female Solution host team. And you can go to onaireverywhere.com and get daily news items, as well as see some of our affiliated news organizations, from internet, TV, and radio to print magazines and newspapers. And we also are featuring many of those who have YouTube channels and podcasts that can enhance your life. You can go to the On Air Radio TV guide to recommended viewing and listening. And you can also go to the On Air Radio Network page and see all of our hosts, and of course, see some of our visual presentations from YouTube and Facebook, our TV radio programs on here on the Female Solution. And we also invite you, if you are a host of a show and you'd like to contact us and even join our network, send us an email. You can email me at news@onaireverywhere.com. And of course,
Say that again. That was a lot to say. Say that again.
news@onaireverywhere.com. And of course, our On Air magazine that features many of the guests and programs that we have on our daily radio shows. And we'll be coming up with the next edition of On Air magazine. And we look forward to learning more about whatever you're doing, wherever you are, so that you can be a part of this global network.
And we appreciate you and thank you for being a part of the Higher Learning Network.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Our news affiliates, they're on the On Air Network. We promote. Of course, you gotta watch that teen talent contest. That's what every quarter,
every fourth Saturday.
Every fourth Saturday.
Because actually it's coming up the 24th of this month. Yeah.
24th or the 30th of the 20th. Okay.
I think it's the 24th. Let me double check here, but I'm pretty sure it's the 24th. It's the fourth Saturday. So is that this Saturday? It is this Saturday.
The fourth. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, 22nd. I'm sorry. May 20. No, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
May
22nd is 22nd is the
May 22nd.
Saturday, 23rd is the 4th.
So that's the Teen Talent Contest. Be sure and get your children, your youth, your young adults, 13 to 19, if they'd like to compete for prizes and cash. Send their 1-minute YouTube video to HLNTVshow@gmail.com so that they can complete. There's a picture of Hattie.
Oh, how beautiful. Yes.
Kind of a better picture of her. And there's another one. That's our Hattie.
My.
Love our Hattie. Thank you, Hattie. Thank you for the joy that you brought this family and the life that you live. Because I tell everybody all the time, she was like a rich, I won't say old.
Seasoned.
A wealthy, seasoned woman, because she lived a life that many of us never will. She took time. She worked for 40 years at the VA, but she took time. Hattie took the time to travel, to love, to share her love and all the good that she did, and especially through her food and her family. That was Hattie Frierson Johnson. That's my sister. That's my sister. That's my sister. You see this great big smile on her face. She is the bomb.com. You need to know that. Love you, Hattie. We will see you Saturday, 2 to 6 p.m. at your memorial, which is on North Avenue in Melrose Park. But you go to ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com and you'll see that information there.
Well,
So,
if you have not received a message from her in the dream state, because that's how, when they cross over, that's how they can reconnect with us, because our souls actually leave our bodies at night when we sleep. And so our loved ones who have transitioned, they can meet with us when we're in that realm. So if you haven't had a meeting with her, look for it.
okay, and I would like to like you to say that again, because I want to record that so I can post that to her her little ones. Okay, so what was that you said about sleeping at night?
Our souls leave our bodies every night when we sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are in that state, our loved ones who have transitioned can meet us because they're also in spirit. So when you dream of someone who has transitioned, it is an actual meeting of the spirit. And so if you have not yet had a meeting in the dream state with your loved one, look for it, because they will come to you.
All right, Miss Hattie.
One thing with that, could I share with that, with what people saying?
Please.
The thing that we have to understand too is that we communicate telepathy. We won't be able to talk to them like you're talking to you. We are all talking.
Absolutely.
In a different language in the spirit world.
Mm.
Absolutely.
And what language is that?
It's the universal language of telepathy. You're sending and receiving your thoughts coming from your heart. So your heartfelt thoughts, that's what you send, that's what they receive, and that's what they send back to you. So you can talk to her right now, probably more than you ever talked to her, because you don't need phone, don't need text messaging. Just send the thought and listen for her to send you her reply.
Well, and let me say this, in all actuality, I know that I have been communicating with her because
yes.
The first day that I wrote on my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com, I'm sitting there crying. I mean, the tears are streaming down my face and I can't stop. I was like, I stopped in the middle of it and I said, Hattie, please help me to finish this article. I stopped crying immediately. It scared the shit out of me.
Wow. And she helped you finish it
immediately. So I know she heard me and she's working with me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hook. Thank you, Hattie. Appreciate you. Love you. See you Friday at the memorial.
All right.
Yes. And I want to thank you, all of our listeners, viewers, callers, for being there with us through these challenging times, and know that whatever challenge you are going through, that it came to make you a better person. And I received that. Thank you. Thank us. Thank us. Thank us. Thank us. Thank you, Baba Kwame Sunhorse. Excuse me. I'm looking for excuse me. Now I get to the end and I want to choke up. Shut up, Zelda. Close your mouth, girl. Okay. I talk to myself sometimes. I was trying to play the ending, but it closed. So that's it, and that's all. So thank you so much. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay tuned to your next one. Yes, sir.
One thing remember, the Creator gave us tear glands for a reason.
Thank you for Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Yep. Great words from Baba Kwame.
Baba Kwame Sunhorse. And let me get to my Zoom because I'm 10 minutes late already. All right.
Thank you.
Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay tuned to your next Monday morning mindfulness. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Self-care with Jody Susan. And thanks for watching.